away.
So he's basically saying the coach can't score the goals. It's an interesting comment that Springer Border Inside the Game analyst Rob Brown. It's true, the coach can't score the goals. The coach can breathe some confidence in his team, and maybe that's what he's hoping to do here. I expect tonight, Rob, first of all, to see the Dallas Stars crash the crease. I don't think they had enough net front presence. Edmonton brought that against Vegas in Game 4 of their series. It would not surprise me. I mean, the reality is Stuart Skinner stopped 77 of the last 79 shots in the series. So what do you think?
Well, I don't think you've seen enough physicality from the Dallas Stars in any aspect of the game if you're a Dallas Star fan. You take away their 5-6 defensemen, Petrovic and Bichel, who have both been physical, but again, they play limited minutes. Outside of those two,
12 minutes a game.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so outside of those two, you're not getting a physicality. And you lost one of your best players in Hintz for a game and a half due to a dirty hit. No response from their team. Nurse did it. Jamie Benn twice last game had opportunities to go finish checks on Nurse and didn't. And he's should be their most physical forward. So they have not done a good enough job physically against the Oilers. The defensemen of the Oilers have not been run through the boards like they were against Vegas, like they were against LA. They've got time and space to make plays. And to go to your point, the blue paint, there have not been a lot of battles in the blue paint in front of Stu Skinner. He's seen all the shots. He's able to swallow them. He doesn't have to face deflections or second or third opportunities. The Dallas Stars haven't done a lot of the things that have made them successful in the past. And that's a big reason that they're down 3-1 in the series. So I agree with you. I would imagine the first period tonight will be the Dallas Stars' best period, and it will be through physicality, both on hitting, getting pucks in deep, being physical on the defenseman, but also getting the pucks into the blue paint and just battle there. If you're going to battle with someone, don't do it in the corner. Don't do it against the boards. Throw everything at the net and battle in the blue paint, because right now the Edmonton Oilers have won the blue paint battles on both ends.
All right, Edmonton with 2 significant changes and alterations to their lineup. So let's talk about up front. There's no way to replace Zach Hyman, is there?
There isn't. He's a guy that scored 54 2 years ago. And he's a guy that would have, had he stayed healthy, broke the all-time record for most hits in the playoffs. So he's a guy that brings physicality and scores goals. He plays on your power play, your penalty kill. He's on your first line. Last minute of games, he's the guy that's out there. I mean, was it Vegas or LA? I think it was LA, where he went through the defenseman at the end to set up the empty net goal that sealed that one. He does everything. No one player can replace him. The Oilers are not as good a team without Zach Hyman, but the Oilers are still a very good team because they do have good depth, something they haven't had in the past.
Matthias Ekholm coming in on defense. I feel bad for Troy Stetcher. You saw his piece with Mark Spector. Said, let's face it, Ekholm's a better player than me. Matthias Ekholm plays 22 minutes a game. And he's closer to 23 before he got nicked up down the stretch a bit and played a couple shifts back on April 11th. Obviously, the coaching staff feels he must be capable of playing 15, 16 minutes if he's in tonight. Rob, your thoughts?
Yeah, it's one of those ones we were bouncing it back and forth. Are they going to go 11-7 or 12-6? The fact they're going 12-6 tells me that Matthias Ekholm probably could have played a game or two before this. And they were just waiting for the right moment because they feel he's capable of coming in and not being a step behind. And good on them and good on Matthias Ekholm for being prepared for this moment. They are a better team. When we say they lose Hyman, they're not as good up front. Getting Ekholm back, you're a better team on the back end. And Troy Stetcher's been excellent. And this goes under the life ain't fair wording when you pull out a Stetcher out of a lineup, because he was fantastic. He has not done anything wrong to get himself into the press box. But as he's right, Ekholm is a better defenseman. So yes, the Oilers are better getting Ekholm back. And whatever he does tonight, and I expect him to be fine, he will be better if the Oilers play Saturday night or if they play Wednesday against the Florida Panthers, and he'll be better the game after that.
Yeah.
But I believe in that Knobloch has full faith that they're getting an Ekholm with no reservations tonight, that they can play him in any situation and feel comfortable with it.
All right, who needs to step up with Zach Hyman out? Can it be a couple guys, or does it need to be the entire forward unit?
Well, it's got to be everybody, but to me, this is a great opportunity for Evander Kane.
Me too.
I think Kane has been better than everyone, including me, expected coming back after having a year off. Most of this playoff, he's been on your third line and contributing from there, but now he's moving up with Leon. And that is a great opportunity for Evander Kane and for Leon. Leon has played a lot of this playoffs with guys who most of the season were fourth line players. There's guys that have been in the press box. He's getting a legitimate NHL goal scorer on his wing tonight. Evander Kane's a goal scorer. Evander Kane plays with growl, and I would imagine that you're going to see a very fired up Evander Kane because as a player, as a guy that's offensive, as I was in the NHL, when a coach says, hey, we're going to play you with and name one of the top players in the world, you don't want to give up that spot. So the Oilers want to win tonight and move on to the Stanley Cup Finals. Evander Kane wants to be riding shotgun with Leon Draisaitl in the Stanley Cup Finals. I imagine Evander Kane is going to have a big night tonight for the Oilers.
Jeff Skinner is also in tonight, and it's important to note Connor Brown's on the trip. He needs to clear protocol. He needs a week to do that. So he couldn't play in Game 6 theoretically in Edmonton, but could play in Game 7. There's a short-term window here for Skinner to make some impact, isn't there, for Jeff Skinner?
Oh, 100%. We've seen every player that has come out of the press box have an unbelievable game energy-wise because they don't want to go back to the press box. This Oiler team wants to finish what they didn't finish last year, and that's win a Stanley Cup, and every player wants to be on the ice playing in that game. So there are players in this game tonight, an Arvidsson, a Kapanen, a Jeff Skinner, that want to make sure they put their best effort forward. That when the coaching staff has to, and this is believing that the Oilers will move on from this series, which is not a given. But for Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals, every one of those names wants to be in the lineup. They want Knobloch to write their name and number down for Game 1. So I believe Jeff Skinner will have a lot of energy in this hockey game, and I think you're going to see something out of him that you don't normally see, and that's a physicality. Because Chris Knobloch's not looking for him to come in and score goals. He's looking for him to come in and give him trust defensively, someone that he can put out there and feel comfortable at any situation. So I think you're going to see a Jeff Skinner very motivated.
Why are Edmonton 17-2 games 4 through 7 under Chris Knobloch the last 2 years?
I think it's on Knobloch and all of the coaches. I think they very good at dissecting the other team and seeing what the other team is doing and how can we adjust to it. And I think he also has a really good feel of the pulse of his team. You know, who's clicking, who's not. Where can I never in a million years would have imagined that against the Vegas Golden Knights, hey, let's put Leon with, we're going to go with Kapanen and Podkolzin.
Yeah.
And to me, it didn't make sense. Yet after the game, he said, well, we wanted him to go out head-to-head against Eichel, and he shut Eichel down. Oh, now it makes a lot more sense. So Chris Knobloch is a very, very smart hockey mind. I think he is advanced beyond his NHL years. He coaches like a 20-year veteran. I don't think anything surprises him. Yet he still has surprises for the opposition coaches, and it usually comes later in the series after he's seen 2 or 3 of the other team's games of what he can pick apart.
Let's go to the Ford Keys to the Game, brought to you by Ford, the official partner of the Edmonton Oilers. Built Ford proud. Rob, you have 20 seconds.
Well, I think this one, the way that Dallas is going to have to come out with desperation, I think this starts with big saves from Stuart Skinner early in this hockey game. I think that if he comes in, settles his team down, withstands a barrage that Dallas should bring, I think that the Edmonton Oilers have set themselves up pretty well. In the other one, the Oilers are going to get 2 or 3 power plays in this hockey game. They get 2 or 3 goals on that power play, they win the hockey game, and they move on to the Stanley Cup Finals.
That's our Inside the Game analyst, Rob Brown. More with Rob Brown and Brendan Escott during our end of the roll first and second intermissions. Jack Michaels is ready to go. Up next, it's Game 5 of the Western Conference Final on Ford Dealers NHL Hockey on the Oilers Radio Network.
End of the Roll Flooring Centers is not only Canadian owned and operated, but we've been your go-to flooring center since 1986. The reason is simple. We make your flooring project easier. Rather than a tiny sample, upload a photo of your room at endoftheroll.com and instantly see what your dream flooring looks like in your house. Thousands of styles just clicks away. End of the Roll Flooring Centers. We've been flooring Canadians for 4 decades. Visit endoftheroll.com.
12870 St. Albert Trail and now open at 580 Parsons Road Southwest. Do your tires feel like hockey pucks on the road? Perhaps it's time for a new set of Atturo tires. No matter what you drive, Atturo has the right fit for you, including the all-new Trail Blade HT and AZ810, premium all-weather tires for your pickup, car, SUV, or crossover. You can rest assured that Atturo tires will get you through all 4 seasons. Available at Action Car and Truck, Point S, and tire shops everywhere. Find a dealer near you at atturo.com.
Do you have tickets to an upcoming event at Rogers Place that you can't attend? Donate your tickets to the Edmonton Oilers Community Foundation Seats for Kids program, presented by Eagle Builders. Seats for Kids provides unused game tickets for charities, allowing children and families to enjoy hockey at Rogers Place. And for many,
Hey Canada, hockey fans, USA hockey fans all over the world, thanks for hanging out with us tonight for Game 5 of the Stars and the Oilers. Our Oilers have a chance to make a rematch of the Stanley Cup Finals and take on the Florida Panthers, who dispatched the Carolina Hurricanes last game out. Thank you for being here. Please take a second, hit that like button down below, share this link out to your friends, share it on social media. Let's get more people here in the chat cheering on our Oilers to beat the Stars tonight. Just end this series. Let's get ready for the Stanley Cup Finals. Come on, Canada. Who's with me? Who's excited? We'll see you back in the chat. Don't forget, hit that link that's pinned in the chat and help us raise money for SickKids Hospital in Toronto through part of our Playoff Pulse campaign. I'm getting stuck up on my words. It's time to get back to the hockey. Go Oilers, go! We'll see you back in the chat.
And all of us command, with glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north, strong and free, from far and for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. Still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of it
tonight's exclusive NHL broadcast.
Shoots and scores! But now it's Draisaitl off to Connor McDavid. Centers Kane for the hat trick. He scores!
All the action called by the voices who know the game inside and out.
This crowd explodes!
Bob Stauffer and Jack Michaels on the Oilers Radio Network.
Well, the Edmonton Oilers hoping to silence the crowd as they did in Game 2 of the American Airlines Center when they shut out the Dallas Stars by a count of 3-0. Winning the next two games at Rogers Place brings us to Game 5 of the West Final, where Edmonton will be looking to close out Dallas for a second consecutive year in the Western Conference Final. Alongside Bob Stauffer, I'm Jack Michaels from our Legacy Heating and Cooling broadcast booth. Janmark between Podkolzin and Arvidsson, Nurse and Kulak defensively. Stuart Skinner in the pipes, coming off a 28-save outing on Tuesday, which raised his lifetime record in Game 4 to 6-0. He's looking to get a win in Game 5. It's filled in and sent down deep by Sam Steele off the center ice faceoff. Dallas in the Kelly green and white and black trim, moving right to left in this first period. A big hit on Victor Arvidsson right off the hop by Colin Blackwell. The puck comes free and is handled by Kulak. He'll send it over to Nurse. Remember, Matthias Ekholm returns to the Edmonton lineup tonight, as does Jeff Skinner, who has not played since the first game of the playoffs when he had an assist in a loss to LA. Mikko Rantanen for the Dallas Stars brings it the other way. Shot Cody Ceci deflected up high off the glass and maintained for a moment by Dallas before Edmonton is able to funnel it back through center. Vasily Podkolzin. The Stars have scored the game's first goal only 3 times in 17 tries in this postseason, and none against Edmonton. The Stars have not led since rallying in the third period of Game 1. Draisaitl to Kapanen, a dump in. Vander Kane is the left wing on this line. Kapanen did not maintain the zone. Granlund ahead to Rope Hintz. Back defensively is Jake Wallman. A drop pass, and the slippery Mikko Rantanen able to pick up the puck. He's been limited to just 2 points in the series, and he turns it over to Draisaitl. Lead pass of Vander Kane is off target and played back the other way by Esa Lindell. Bouchard over to Ekholm, who has played just 3 shifts since a March 26th game against the Dallas Stars. Ekholm up to center. He'll slam it in. Took a few shifts against San Jose in April. Didn't pan out. He has not played since. And now a high stick against Dallas. Evan Bouchard was high sticked in the neutral zone, and the Oilers will get a power play just a minute 47 into the game. The man who high sticked him did not have possession of the puck, and Maverick Bourque, who has not played in this series, Bob, how about that, takes a penalty less than 2 minutes into the game.
Well, the Oilers have been good. Maverick Bourque led the American League in scoring a year ago. You know that, Jack. The Oilers' power play has been good in this series, 5 for 14, but most of the damage was done back in Edmonton. They did score a power play goal in each of the 2 road games to start this series.
29% overall in the playoffs, 36% in the series against Dallas, who had been solid on the penalty kill against Colorado and Winnipeg. Not so much in this series. Draisaitl waved out, replaced by McDavid. Corey Perry in the slot. It's an Atco Energy power play and a chance for Edmonton to put Dallas in another early hole. McDavid wins the faceoff. Bouchard to Nugent Hopkins. McDavid coming out of the left corner. Tracked by Cody Ceci. He's got him in the spin cycle. Throws it around the boards. Draisaitl sends it out to Evan Bouchard. He'll walk the line. Nugent Hopkins guides one to McDavid. Open Bouchard. One-timer Draisaitl, and he missed the net short side. That'll clatter off the corner boards and all the way down the ice. A good look for Draisaitl, who comes in with 20 career power play goals, 3 shy of the club record held by, you guessed it, Wayne Gretzky. Here's McDavid jitterbugging his way through the neutral zone. Gets hacked and whacked by Ceci. Throws it around the boards. Draisaitl, poised as can be, maintains the puck. He and McDavid are the top 2 scorers, and the centering pass is flipped home by Corey Perry. The setup from McDavid. Perry finishes, and at age 40, Corey Perry has 7 playoff goals, and Edmonton takes a 1-0 lead in Game 5.
Well, they crossfaded him on that play there. Just a beautiful backhand pass banked behind the board goal by Draisaitl. He finds McDavid quickly in front, and they're so aggressive on the PK that McDavid had Perry with time and space, and Perry deflects it home, 1-0 Edmonton.
McDavid and Draisaitl with the helpers, the top 2 scorers in the Stanley Cup playoffs, set up a man they admire, Corey Perry, who's played more games in this century than any other team in the NHL. in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Kulak tries to hit Henrique off the draw, and it's cleared back the other way by Dallas. Adam Henrique centering a line with Jeff Skinner and Trent Frederick. Skinner, again, his first action of any kind since April the 21st in Los Angeles. The Stars dump it in. How about that penalty taken by Maverick Bourque, who parachuted into Game 6, an elimination game for Dallas last year. It did not work. Edmonton beat the Stars and went to the Stanley Cup final with a 2-1 victory on home ice. A lead pass, Trent Frederick dashing down the left wing, tried to center. On the puck, and a centering pass quickly flicked in front by Nurse, and that was a near miss. John Klingberg races back to handle it, but Edmonton already with a lead in Game 5. 60 minutes away from a return trip to the Stanley Cup final. The Oilers haven't been in back-to-back finals since 87 and 88. A clear by the Stars back towards center. Dallas was last in a Stanley Cup final 2 years in a row in 99 and 2000. Chipped in from the right-hand side. Thomas Harley spilled back towards center. Stars take a penalty, give up a power play goal early. Mikael Granlund sends it in. Rope Hintz around the corner boards. The Oilers will get a clear. Victor Arvidsson coughed it up at center. Esa Lindell controlling for Dallas, why both teams make line changes. Across to Miro Heiskanen and punch forward by Jason Robertson. Maverick Bourque eager to atone for that disastrous penalty that resulted in the Atco power play conversion. It's Draisaitl to Bouchard, moving through the neutral zone, coughed it up. Bourque ahead for Wyatt Johnston. Mired in a slump. Johnston will go nowhere. Ekholm poked the puck away, and here comes Evander Kane, left to right for the Oilers in their white uniforms with orange and blue trim. Kapanen to Bouchard in front, and Kane did not shoot the puck as quickly as he needed to. Draisaitl to Ekholm, but he was wide open, Bob. Held onto it too long. Ekholm a shot left wing, and that was redirected wide by Kane on a drive-by screen against Jake Ottinger, who's been outplayed in this series for a second consecutive year by Stuart Skinner. Wyatt Johnston in across the line. High slot snapshot juggled and held by Skinner. And the Stars desperately try to crowd the goaltender with Colin Blackwell moving in. But with 5 minutes gone, Skinner has his first save of the evening. And the Edmonton Oilers maintain a 1-0 lead. Corey Perry, his 7th of the postseason. McDavid and Draisaitl, the Apples. 2:31, time of the power play goal.
Well, the Oilers have had 2 other looks since then and didn't get pucks to the net. Janmark could have set up bang play, didn't end up picking the puck up cleanly, and then Kane double clutched. A great opportunity for Edmonton.
McDavid wins the face-off to the left of Stuart Skinner, twisted by Nurse ahead for Corey Perry. He'll dig it out, lay it on the plexi. McDavid overran the play. Mikael Granlund will scoot it back in for Dallas. The Oilers win. Game 1 of the Stanley Cup final will be Wednesday night in Edmonton. The Stars win. It's Game 6 Saturday night in Edmonton. Here's McDavid. A drop pass coming over the line and a very late offside call whistled by linesman Ryan Daisy, who's working alongside fellow liney Ryan Gibbons and referees Chris Rooney and Wes McCauley. 14:36 to go in the first period, and Edmonton's taken a 1-0 lead. Hard to believe Dallas has given up the first goal in 15 of their 18 playoff games, and to get all the way to this point of the Stanley Cup playoffs with that kind of record is nothing short of amazing.
Especially given the fact that they're 13th in goals for per game in the playoffs.
And they've been outshot. They've only outshot their opponent 3 times in 17 either, Bob. The numbers has, as you know, especially 5-on-5, unkind to Dallas. They're -8 coming in. Edmonton is +14. Trent Frederick in the offensive zone, engaged with Tyler Seguin. Around the boards to Kulak, right side, and held in by Jeff Skinner. Frederick trying to dance his way into puck possession in the right corner. Gets some help from Adam Henrique. The puck comes free. Petrovic, shadowed by Skinner, tightly up the right-hand side. Matt Duchene, held in by Henrique. He'll send it off the boards. A friendly hop, but it eventually eluded the stick of Trent Frederick coming the other way. Tyler Seguin for Dallas. Teed it up for Lindell. His drive blocked by Jeff Skinner, and then he inadvertently kicked it back toward his goaltender, but Stuart Skinner there to scoop it up. And with 13:42 to go in the first period, the Edmonton Oilers have taken a 1-0 lead in Game 5, the Western Conference Final, looking to set up a much-anticipated rematch in a Stanley Cup Final against Florida, who advanced last night with a win over the Carolina Hurricanes. This is Ford Dealers NHL Hockey, the Stanley Cup Playoffs, on the Oilers Radio Network.
At Sobeys and Safeway Liquor, they recommend pairing locally distilled spirits and their ice-cold beer selection with... And Oilers win! Sobeys and Safeway Liquor, proud partners and fans of the Edmonton Oilers. Please enjoy responsibly.
Hey, Paul Brandt here. Big skies, rugged landscapes. Now that's Alberta in a nutshell. And if you're looking for an SUV that can keep up with this place, check out the Ford Bronco. Built for those who crave adventure, with serious off-road capability and style to spare. Whether you're hitting the mountain trails or exploring the back roads, it's the perfect ride for those who want to experience everything this province has to offer. The Ford Bronco. Adventure awaits at your Alberta Ford dealer. And tell them PB sent you.
Celebrating 70 years in the signage industry, William Huff Advertising is the most recognized name in the game. An in-house, one-stop shop for all of your design, print, and installation needs. William Huff provides quality graphic solutions for everyone. Here in our City of Champions and throughout the nation, they are the preferred signage partner entrusted by many of the biggest corporations, pro sports teams, and organizations to bring their identity to life. Recognize the name, get in the game. WilliamHuff.com.
At Sobeys and Safeway Liquor, they recommend pairing locally distilled spirits and their ice-cold beer selection with... And Oilers win! Sobeys and Safeway Liquor, proud partners and fans of the Edmonton Oilers. Please enjoy responsibly.
Listen on air, online, and on the Radio Player Canada app.
This is the Oilers Radio Network.
Corey Perry, who turned 40 a couple of weeks ago, has scored a power play goal. And the 18,000-plus crowded into Dallas's cavernous American Airlines Center has seen their team falling behind again. A wrist shot off the draw to the right of Stuart Skinner is stopped against Jason Robertson, who scored in each of the last 2 games for Dallas. It's the only 2 goals the Stars have gotten in the last 3 games, as they've been outscored 13-2. Stars try to rush the puck up the left-hand side. Thomas Harley, all he can do is scoop it back to center, and it's rifled back in by Jake Wallman of the Edmonton Oilers. Jack Michaels, Bob Stauffer with you, high atop American Airlines Center in our Legacy Heating and Cooling broadcast booth. Here's Leon Draisaitl over the line. Sends a wrist shot wide. Wallman takes one that ends up wide of the net. Off the end boards Harley, and punched forward by Jason Robertson. Back to collect is Wallman. Whistles a pass right side, Arvidsson to the net. Wrist shot, score! Matthias Janmark extends Edmonton's lead to 2-0 in Game 5. The Oilers have 2 goals on 2 shots.
And Matthias Janmark becomes the 10th Edmonton Oilers player to score 3 goals in this series. In the playoffs. Oilers now have 10 different skaters with 3 goals or more in the playoffs.
What a stretch pass to start the play by Wallman, and a good read by Arvidsson. And again, the depth scoring of the Edmonton Oilers, Corey Perry and Matthias Janmark, with his 3rd of the playoffs and the 15th career Stanley Cup playoff goal. And does Pete DeBoer want a timeout here? He is going to take one.
Are they going to check to see?
No, he's taking a timeout with 12:51 to play in the first period.
This is not a timeout to evaluate a potential offside. We got to get going here.
You're down 2-0. The shots are 2-2. And Jake Ottinger, who's 3-7 against the Oilers and 5-11 in the Western Conference Final, is off to a disastrous start. I said at the beginning of the series that Dallas would have no chance if Ottinger can't outplay goaltender Stuart Skinner, and he's gone. Ottinger is gone. Here comes Casey DeSmith. What a shakeup. DeSmith has played once in the Stanley Cup playoffs, turning aside 13 of 14 in Game 4 of the Colorado series. And now he comes on 14-8-2 in the regular campaign and a save percentage of .915. Ottinger at first thought he was still in the game. He's not. The timeout, Casey DeSmith comes in, handles a pass to the net from Corey Perry just to test him. He didn't take any warm-up shots, Bob, as was his right to do. So Casey DeSmith goes in ice cold, having played just 20 minutes of the Stanley Cup playoffs thus far, and we've got a hand pass whistled through the neutral zone. DeSmith does have some playoff experience. He has 3 wins against 1 defeat with a save percentage of .927. So Jake Ottinger, considered by many to be, in conjunction with Connor Hellebuck, the Olympic starter for Team USA, well, he lasts all of 7 minutes and 9 seconds in an elimination game.
And he was not pleased, Jack. I'm stunned.
Didn't see that move coming. Nope. Off the draw, Jeff Skinner, wrist shot on net, and a save made by Casey DeSmith. The Oilers want to see what DeSmith has. Again, he hasn't played except for 1 period in the first round. Darnell Nurse up the gut. Trent Frederick in over the line. He'll shovel it down low. DeSmith takes a peek. Petrovic up the right-hand side. I mean, Jake Ottinger, considered by most a top 5 goalie minimum in this league. Centering pass, in tight, backhander save to Smith. Rebound, Skinner scores! Jeff Skinner extends to a 3-0 lead for the Edmonton Oilers. They greet DeSmith with Jeff Skinner's first career Stanley Cup playoff goal.
All right, I'm going to give you credit. This is hard for me to do. All through the playoffs, Jack has brought up on the plane at least every second game. At some point, Jeff Skinner's going to get back in, and he's going to score a big goal for the Edmonton Oilers. He just did. Nice call, Jack.
Jeff Skinner, 15 years toiling in obscurity for mediocre teams in Carolina and Buffalo. And he makes it 3-0 Edmonton. 2 goals in 58 seconds. Draisaitl to take the face-off against Tyler Seguin.
What would they be delaying for?
I think they're just making sure the scoreboard's good to go. I think that was just a glitch in the scoreboard. Draisaitl wins the face-off. Wallman across to John Klingberg, and the puck's in deep for Edmonton. Thomas Harley up the right-hand side. What a start. The puck kisses the plexi and exits the playing surface, and Edmonton owns a 3-0 lead in Dallas. Ottinger is gone. DeSmith is in. And if you're a Stars fan, you can't imagine a worse scenario than what you're facing right now. An Oiler club that has now gotten 16 of the last 18 goals in this series.
Hard to believe, really.
Seguin wins the faceoff against Leon Draisaitl, cleared by Mason Marchment, back towards center. Except we've seen this before. Duchesne up the left-hand side. Seguin a drop pass at the line. That was a hope pass and cleared by Kapanen up to Evander Kane. Henrique and Frederick, by the way, with the assists on the scoring play. Puck's in deep by Harley. Draisaitl finishes his check. Trent Frederick picks up his 4th point of the playoffs. Henrique his 6th. And Jeff Skinner, who had an assist in that Game 1 loss to LA, now has a goal to go along with, and another chance in front as DeSmith sees a shot deflect wide. A drive by Bouchard from the right point, and that stays out. Oilers continue to pour it on here in the Dallas zone. Bouchard to Janmark. Vasily Podkolzin trying to plow through Wyatt Johnston. Finally forced off his stick, and Marchment will take it up to the red line as Arvidsson thunders back into him. Maverick Bourque on the puck for Dallas. He took a penalty inside the first 2 minutes and now throws one off the corner glass and out of play with 10.5 to go in the first period. Edmonton's up 3-0. Bob, is Dallas dealing with a bit of shock right now as far as what Game 5 has turned out?
Well, I think the coach shocked his team when he pulled the goalie out. I mean, that's Jake Ottinger you're talking about. And I know it hasn't been great against Edmonton, and it hasn't been great in the conference final. Maybe it's a little bit of fatigue from all, he gets a lot of regular season starts, but I think he stunned his team with the early pull at 2-0.
Well, Ottinger was heading back to the crease, as you saw, and then was called back, and all of a sudden Casey DeSmith jumps into the fray, where he hasn't played in 5 weeks. Corey Perry dumps it in. Meanwhile, Edmonton's backup is 6-0 this year in the Stanley Cup playoffs. The depth rising to the fore for Edmonton. Skinner out of the press box into the lineup for the first time in more than a month. Scores. Here's McDavid shooting on a failed Dallas clear from the top of the right circle, and a save made by Casey DeSmith. The Oilers buzzing and getting 3 quality chances against DeSmith after getting some early looks against Jake Ottinger. Dallas has been leaky here in the first 10 minutes.
So Janmark's goal gives him 3 in the playoffs. That's 10 different Oilers players in the playoffs with 3 goals. And the goal from Jeff Skinner means 14 Oilers forwards have scored in the playoffs.
You can only dress 12 typically.
Yes.
Face-off win. Sam Steele pulled it back, although this year we saw an amazing 13-5 alignment that we hadn't seen forever, Bob. Or was it 12-5?
No, I think it was 13.
I think there was one game where it was 13-5. What a bizarre year. Testament to the Oilers' depth and a 3-0 lead. Still a lot of hockey left, though. A dump in. Jeff Skinner follows up on the forecheck and cleared by the Stars up the right-hand side. Klingberg scoots back and draws the icing call against his former team. 9:41 to go in the first period. The Stars, in addition to losing the last 2 conference finals, also lost the Stanley Cup final in 2020. That was the year, Bob, where they last played a playoff series that lasted fewer than 6 games. They played 10 playoff series in a row that have gone at least 6. Right now, they're in tough to extend that streak. Draisaitl against Blackwell, who wins the faceoff for the Dallas Stars. The last series the Stars played that lasted fewer than 6 was the Western Conference Final that year when they beat Vegas in 5. Here's Sam Steele off a lead pass from Blackwell, denied short side by Skinner. The outlet pass, Kane to Kapanen, a dump in on Ned, and DeSmith, after hesitating for a moment, steers it into the corner for Thomas Harley. 9.25 to go first period. Edmonton 3, Dallas no score. Mason Marchment off the draw. Rishes a shot off the clavicle of Stuart Skinner. The rebound pumped back up ice by Evander Kane.
Skinner got run right over.
He appears okay. Skinner goes about 6'4", 212 pounds. Moving in, Tyler Seguin. And now Miro Heiskanen, right corner, a little reverse pop, trying to keep it alive along the end boards, out to Harley. One-timer coming, and Marchment had his shot blocked, and then an interior pass intercepted and cleared by Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, playing some of the best hockey in his career. Here's a steal on Tyler Seguin by Corey Perry, the ageless one, but a laid-off side call. Was McDavid in early? That was very tight.
Yep. Perry thought he was onside.
31 to go in the first. So, 3-0 Edmonton. Timeout from the American Airlines Center. Corey Perry on the power play. Janmark and Skinner, 58 seconds apart at even strength. And it's 3-0 Edmonton, and Jake Ottinger is out of this game. It's Game 5 of the West Final, live from Dallas on the Oilers Radio Network.
Score big with the unmatched purity of Clearwater Vodka, the perfect companion for Oilers fans. Crafted with the pristine waters of Alberta, it's a sip of local excellence. Clearwater Vodka, where the spirit of the game meets true Alberta quality. Must be 18 plus. Please drink responsibly.
Did you know that there are 9 Napa Auto Parts stores serving the greater Edmonton area and have been doing so for more than 50 years? Since Napa first opened in Edmonton, the community has grown and vehicles have changed, but you can always trust Napa Auto Parts to provide you with the expert know-how and the best vehicle parts. And if that isn't enough, every time you visit a Napa Auto Parts store when you present your AMA card, you receive an additional 10% discount on all retail parts and accessories. Visit your local Napa Auto Parts store for more offers and expert know-how. Napa Auto Parts is a proud fan of the Edmonton Oilers.
Legacy Heating and Cooling jingle auditions take one for Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and Zach Hyman. Are you ready, guys?
We were born ready.
Heck yes, Nuge. Drop the beat.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
We freaking killed it, Nuge.
That's what I'm talking about, Zachary Martin Hyman.
Nice guys. We're going to sell a lot of air conditioners.
Hey, doesn't Legacy offer no payments and no interest for a year on those?
Yeah, well, thanks for the assist on the copy points there, Nuge.
It's just what I do.
Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Score big with the unmatched purity of Clearwater Vodka, the perfect companion for Oilers fans. Crafted with the pristine waters of Alberta, it's a sip of local excellence. Clearwater Vodka, where the spirit of the game meets true Alberta quality. Must be 18 plus. Please drink responsibly.
All games, all season. You're listening to the Oilers Radio Network.
3-0 hockey game in favor of Edmonton. 8:31 to go in the first period. And the Oilers have come out and shelled Jake Ottinger, chasing him with 2 goals on 2 shots. Here's a turnover. Robertson shoots and scores. And Dallas right back in the game. The Oilers got sloppy in their own end. And Dallas converts the turnover into Jason Robertson's 3rd goal in as many games. The Oilers wanted a penalty on the play.
Manage the puck. Got to manage the puck. You got a 3-0 lead. Kulak with the fire went up the middle. It got knocked down. Johnson's going to get an assist, and Robertson finished it off.
Robertson, who struggled mightily in his return to the lineup in the Winnipeg series, has found his game in the last 3, scoring the last 3 Stars goals. And Wyatt Johnston with his first point of the series. First point of any kind in his last 11 games. He had been minus 16 over that stretch. Janmark off the center ice face-off, hands to Klingberg. His pass redirected by Rantanen.
Manage the puck.
Back into the Edmonton zone. Wallman with a turnover. Steele Johnston, a wrist shot. And that was ricocheted wide. Some traffic in front of the Edmonton net. On the half boards, plucked off the dashers and cleared by Adam Henrique inside the Dallas line. Heiskanen lofts it back inside the Oiler blue, settled by Ekholm. And he'll direct traffic for the Oilers. A Luda check from Wyatt Johnston up the left-hand side. Skinner did not get it in deep. And off that neutral zone giveaway, Dallas is going to be whistled for an offside. 7:23 to go in the first period. Edmonton still with a 3-1 lead, but some turnovers creeping into Edmonton's game.
Yeah, that was really, I mean, I know it hit a stick and hit a skate, but just needed a little bit better puck management there. The pairing of Nurse and Kulak together.
Troy Stetcher coming out of the lineup with the return of Matthias Ekholm. Zach Hyman, of course, lost for the season. Underwent surgery yesterday. And Connor Brown still on the shelf for another 3 or 4 days. Vander Kane thought he was high-sticked off the draw, and I think he got the call. It came late, Bob, but I think it's the correct call.
And it's only a minor, so you know what that means.
No review.
Yep.
And a power play coming for the Edmonton Oilers.
And
Sam Steele to the box.
That's their best penalty-killing center.
Oh, he got him. That was Steele's stick. Definitely got him. And Dallas a little reckless with the sticks. And Edmonton will be on the power play for a second time tonight.
Well, now you got a chance to get the goal back right away.
And the power play has been clicking in this series. 6 out of 15. And Bob, just to show you I've been studying, 40%.
Nice work, Chuck.
I missed in game 4. Off the draw.
Doesn't often happen.
Clean face-off win, and then Draisaitl flubbed a one-timer. Set up by Bouchard. That's going to be cleared down the ice by Dallas. Colin Blackwell shorthanded against Nugent Hopkins, and he'll just streak back the other way into his own zone before guiding one to Lindell. So Blackwell single-handedly wipes out 15 seconds. He's done a nice job on the PK in this series for Dallas. Even as it's gone south, Blackwell has played fairly well on the kill. Bouchard with a handoff to Connor McDavid. He'll hit the line. Draisaitl the trailer. Edmonton ruled onside. Draisaitl walks the line off to Nugent Hopkins. Net front presence Corey Perry, who scored to open the game on the power play. McDavid, right circle, fires, and that stayed out. Casey DeSmith in the Dallas net watches it glance off the glass and all the way down. Inside the Oiler blue line, picked up by Bouchard with 6:20 to go in the first period. Edmonton 3, Dallas 1. McDavid to Nugent Hopkins. There's the offside. The Oilers were close to being offside on that first foray into the Dallas zone. Now whistled down with 6 1/4 to go in the first period, and halfway through this Atco Energy power play, the Oilers will go to the second unit, which has Skinner, Henrique, Kane, Wallman, and Klingberg. Jeff Skinner on the board in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Oilers' amazing scoring depth. Jeff Skinner's goal, that means right now, once again, the Oilers, 17 of their 18 skaters dressed have a goal, and the guy who doesn't hasn't played a game yet, and that's Matthias Ekholm. Just the balance up and down this lineup for the Oilers. They get it in deep on the power play, but Lindell a clear. Hintz shorthanded with Wyatt Johnston down the left-hand side. Johnston a one-timer and a sprawling right pad save made by Stuart Skinner. That was a big stop on Harley and a good shot. Here's Klingberg, checked at the Dallas line. Edmonton has allowed its foot to come off the gas a bit. 3-1 our score in Game 5. The Oilers scored the first 3 goals. Here's Jeff Skinner to Wallman. Evander Kane mishandled the pass, really struggled, and then fired a hope pass that's going to be picked off by Blackwell and easily cleared. That'll do it for the Edmonton power play.
Oilers got to get moving their feet here. Dallas
has built some momentum right now. Here's Wallman. No one said it would be easy. Frederick has trouble handling the puck, and some of these pucks are eating the Oilers up. In talking with the players, they said the ice conditions have been better this year because the Mavericks are gone, but you wouldn't know it. A couple of flubs here in the last few minutes. Draisaitl to Kulak, redirected by Kapanen, and a tough save made by Casey DeSmith. Those two were teammates in Pittsburgh. Big hit on Marchment. Levied by Trent Frederick and shot in by Tyler Seguin. A bouncing puck corralled by Stuart Skinner with 4:40 to go in this first period. The Oilers scored 3 times in 8 minutes to open the game. Dallas has gotten 1 back. Here's Janmark off a Stars dump in. Darnell Nurse will clear up the left-hand side. Swatted at by Heiskanen, taken by Janmark, and Dallas wanted too many men and didn't get the call. Mikhail Granlund at his own blue line to Rantanen. That was stolen away and cleared back inside the Dallas line by Podkolzin. Victor Arvidsson hammered by the hulking D-man Liam Bichsel. Arvidsson trying to regain his faculties. Podkolzin in there trying to carve the puck free. It remains lodged between the skates of Victor Arvidsson, who's still hunched over and struggles to regain balance. Now he's free, but Jason Robertson over on the puck. Arvidsson gave him a bump, and now he's able to wrestle puck possession away from Robertson. And now a fierce battle for the puck. 4 players engaged on the half wall. Finally tugged free by the Stars. Bichsel trying to get it out. Angles it off the boards and through Bouchard, but too much on it. They're going to wave off icing as it rolled dead right at the goal line. Matthias Ekholm around Sam Steele. In from the left-hand side. Stars are trying to be physical with the Oilers, and because the puck was released from beyond the red line, this will be an icing call against Edmonton. For the first time really in this series, the Oilers starting to feel pressure where there is none. That was an unforced error with the icing call.
Well, Ekholm hasn't played for a while, so Jamie
Benn finished him. Bischel got Podkolzin and Arvidsson in the same shift.
Jack, it's going to sound silly with Edmonton up 3-1 here. They need to be up by 2 after 1 here. They can't give Dallas any more momentum after that goal.
Steal between Ben and Blackwell. Offensive zone face-off won by McDavid. Whistled up the left-hand side. Nugent Hopkins and then banked back in. Ekholm under control for the Oilers. Man fell down. Nugent Hopkins, an awkward fall. So Ekholm went up the middle. Perry kept it alive. Nugent Hopkins tried to swing it over to McDavid. That was taken away and flipped just underneath the scoreboard by Jamie Benn. Out of the reach of Steele, who was angled off by Kulak, and now it's Klingberg on to Nugent Hopkins. He'll hoist it behind the Dallas defense. Nugent Hopkins with 4 consecutive multi-point games to start this conference final. First time that's happened in 35 years. Steele looking for Rantanen, out of his reach. Klingberg to Kulak, not out of the zone, held in by Granlund. He was taken down. That looked like a penalty, none called. Sent in deep by Skinner. Oilers try to get in on the puck. Frederick unable to do so. Dallas's Granlund steers ahead for Lindell. Left wing, Rope Hintz was hobbled by a stick from Darnell Nurse, and the crowd upset because Hintz ran into the official. Tried to bank it off, did Mikko Rantanen and Stuart Skinner. That was unsuccessful, and the puck is cleared by Jeff Skinner back inside the Dallas line. Lindell will settle it down for the Stars.
Dallas has some momentum here. Oilers need to navigate this.
CC to Marchment. That pass misfired. Icing called Dallas. 1:56 to go in the first. I thought at live speed, Granlund was taken down. Edmonton might have gotten away with one. The shots on goal are 9-7 for the Oilers. The score remains 3-1 Edmonton, who lead the series by that same margin. 3-1 with an opportunity to shake hands at the end of the night and move on to the Stanley Cup Final. A rematch with the Florida Panthers. It would just be the 3rd Stanley Cup Final rematch since 1978. Off the draw, Rope Hintz to the right of Casey DeSmith, who's in for the pulled Jake Ottinger. Kapanen lost the handle. Sagan ahead for Matt Duchene. Streaks in, shoots, and that was blocked by Darnell Nurse. Nurse with the rebound. Draisaitl churning the legs up the left-hand side. Instead, it's played to Kasperi Kapanen, who grew up in Philadelphia. His dad, Sammy, played for the Flyers for a number of years. Stars with a clearing pass ahead for Thomas Harley. Stutter step on Bouchard, who goes nowhere. Centering pass off the mark. Sagan tried to hit Marchment in the slot. Instead, it'll be DeSmith leaving it for the hastily retreating Marchment, who then ran into Matthias Janmark. Janmark scored the 2nd Oiler goal. Jeff Skinner the 3rd as Edmonton took a 3-0 lead 8 minutes in. Arvidsson with his club up 2 nudges it back to the Dallas line. 1 minute to play in the first period. Petrovic ahead for Maverick Bourque. He'll put it behind Matthias Ekholm. Worked up the right-hand side, held in by Heiskanen, cleared to the blue line, but not out. Robertson able to toss down low. Matthias Ekholm up the left-hand side for Podkolzin. A bouncing puck through traffic. Janmark fires it up the right-hand side. Grabbed by Heiskanen against Jake Wollman, and he'll reset with 30 seconds to go in the first period. Heiskanen up to the red line. He'll shoot it in deep. Rantanen, wrap-up situation. Cody Ceci behind the net. Rantanen able to grab it. Off balance, fell down. That allows Nurse to streak over, make a play on the puck. 10 seconds to go. Nurse will move it to Janmark, the outlet to Kulak, and now Corey Perry near the horn. Perry forced out wide, centered, and it was broken up, intended for McDavid, and pinned against the end boards by Rope Hintz. As the first period horn sounds, with the Edmonton Oilers leading by a score of 3-1. The shots 9-7 in favor of Edmonton. And Bob, well, that 2-goal lead you talked about as being crucial to preserve. Well, it has been preserved. The Oilers now 40 minutes away from another trip to the Stanley Cup Final.
It's going to be about puck management, right? They're going to have to push. They're going to have to sell out to create. You're going to have opportunities. If you can outlet the puck, and the Oilers got guys that can move the puck, you can catch them in a counter-strike situation, create some odd-man breaks. No question about it. That's one of the things Edmonton's going to have to do here, is they're going to know, like, Dallas is going to play with incredible desperation. I don't think Jake Ottinger was too happy on that pull after the Janmark goal, and then and what a way for Jeff Skinner to reinsert himself into the storyline as well.
Perry, Janmark, and Skinner all in the first 8 minutes. Ottinger left after the second goal. Robertson got one back for Dallas, but it's now a 3-1 Edmonton lead as we bring on Matthias Janmark. And Matthias, I have to say it, and it's been a recurring theme. The depth on this roster, Matthias. What can you say about Jeff Skinner parachuting into this series?
Can't hear us, Matthias? You got us?
Yeah, no, I didn't hear anything.
You got it now?
Yeah.
All right, Matthias, I was just talking about the depth. That's been a recurring theme in the playoffs. And again, Skinner from the press box to the ice in a highly competitive series, and he contributes.
Yeah, I mean, it was awesome to see. He deserved it more than probably anyone. So really happy for him, and yeah, really impressive by him.
Yeah, nice finish on your part. They are going to have to push. They're chasing this game down by 2. They got their backup in there. You know they're going to pressure. You guys got to manage the puck, don't you, in counter-strike?
Yeah, we're going to be a little bit smarter than we were to end the period there. We had him where we want him, but mistakes are going to happen, and now we got to just bounce back and take it to them again.
Finally, Matthias, what about the playoffs elevates your game to another level? I've seen it now 3, 4, 5 years in a row.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's a tough question. It's just happens naturally, I guess. It's where you want to play, so always try to play our best.
Best of luck.
Thanks, Matthias.
Forward.
Thank you.
All right, Matthias Janmark, modest to a fault. A 3-1 game for Edmonton. 20 minutes complete, 40 to go. Bob, you talked about it. I mean, I don't know whether Dallas has gotten much in this series that Edmonton hasn't given to them.
Yeah.
We saw it in game 1, and obviously we saw it on the first goal tonight. Now, mistakes are going to happen, but I think you'd agree with me that 5-on-5, if Edmonton can maintain the competitive edge they've exhibited in this series, I think it's been proven to this point the Oilers' best is better than Dallas's.
I'm not even sure we saw the Oilers' best 5-on-5. I mean, McDavid, Nugent, Hopkins, and Perry, they're on the ice for the goal against. A little bit of a misplay there from Kulak. Tried to come up the ice. Good. You got to give Dallas credit. They made a good play there to force the turnover. But McDavid, to me, hasn't got going. Draisaitl's line with Kane and Kapanen, they've had some chances. Obviously, the third and fourth lines have both scored even strength goals. What else can you ask for out of those guys? So I think Edmonton's best has got another gear to go. Oilers manage the puck. At some point, they're going to have to kill a penalty. We know that. 2 high sticking infractions. The second one, you know, the officials will take a look at it. You have to figure at some point here the marbles might even out there.
Well, and Granlund, I thought, was hauled down.
Edmonton needs to play smart and understand, you know, and Matthias said it, we just got to get back to playing our game. They had a pretty good game in that first period for a lot of it.
The Oilers 3, the Dallas Stars 1. Edmonton a win, and it's game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final at Rogers Place on Wednesday night against the Florida Panthers. A Dallas comeback victory, and it's game 6 of this Western Conference Final Saturday night back in Edmonton. The Oilers want no part of that. They're looking to finish it tonight in Big D, home of the Dallas Stars. The Oilers issuing just their 4th even strength goal against in the last 7 games, but still a 2-goal lead for Edmonton with 20 minutes in the bank. This is Ford Dealers NHL Hockey and the Stanley Cup Playoffs. The Oilers Radio Network.
Oh, look at this. And we got Jose and Tom here, too. Thank you for hanging out with us this afternoon for our Playoff Pulse campaign. This evening, whatever time it is where you're watching from. We appreciate you being here. Now's the time of the show. Please check the link that's pinned in the chat, as well as in the description. That's going to take you to our homepage at SickKids Hospital in Toronto, where you can add your donation to our Playoff Pulse campaign or share that link out and politely ask people to help you raise money for SickKids Hospital with Toronto Sports Insider and TSI Tom. You got anything to say there before you go to school, Tom?
Well, like and subscribe.
Yeah. Thank you for being here. We'll see you back in the chat. Thank you for making a difference with SickKids Hospital in Toronto. Every single one of you. Much appreciated.
Cheers, insiders and sports fans from around the world. The Playoff Pulse campaign on Toronto Sports Insider is uniting fans worldwide through the thrill of NHL and NBA playoffs. Every game, every fan, every moment counts.
To every child and family who've needed us since 1875, and all who support us, our hospital needs no introduction. But just in case, it's SickKids. And it's our 150th birthday. Our mission has always been healthier children, a better world. The first children's hospital in Canada, SickKids. Pasteurizing milk to prevent disease 30 years before it was mandatory. The heart-lung machine that transformed open heart surgery. A pediatric kidney transplant in 1969. SickKids. SickKids. And SickKids. We discovered the gene for cystic fibrosis so patients live longer lives. And we just created the world's first Atlas of Cancer using machine learning to analyze 13,000 variations. Today, the hospital sees over 130,000 patients a year. We're a research powerhouse, a training magnet, attracting nearly 600 clinical and research fellows from around the globe every year. And we're the #1 publicly funded children's hospital in the world. We're celebrating 150 years of excellence, driven by philanthropy. What's next? Thanks to donors like you, we're going to keep healing Canada and the world, and we're going to heal the future.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you from the bottom of my heart.
I want to thank you. Thank you for supporting the kids.
Thank you for helping us save kids' lives.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for being. Thank you.
Gets pulled, Jake Ottinger, which really surprised me, and it surprised me how it happened. They call a timeout, and Coach DeBoer's, reads them the rights and everything, and as Ottinger's going back to his net, Pete DeBoer screams at the goaltender and tells him he's out. I mean, the first two goals, if you take a picture as the goal is going into the net, there was not a Dallas Star defenseman anywhere in the picture. Jake Ottinger left to himself, completely by himself, the first two shots of the game. Now, to your second part of the question, the Oilers weren't as good in the second half. Well, to me, that's the Dallas Stars. No team is ever going to control 60 minutes of a hockey game, and I think we've seen that in this series. Teams are going to have pushes. The Dallas Stars got challenged by their coach. They saw their star goaltender pulled. They needed a better finish to the period, and there was a turnover. Kulak forced a play. It got turned over. And there's one Dallas Star who has found the back of the net in this series. That's Jason Robertson. I think that's 3 games in a row he has scored. He made no mistake. But there will be pushes throughout this game. Dallas will have 2-3 shifts in a row where they're the better team. The Oilers just need to weather that, and they need the saves. But I think after 20 minutes, you're pretty excited if you're an Oiler fan.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. Just limiting turnovers the rest of the way, Rob. I thought that really fueled what Dallas was able to accomplish.
Well, yes. Jack and Bob talked about it. The Oilers have created a lot of their scoring chances in this game, or in this series, excuse me. The Dallas Stars have feasted on the mistakes that the Oilers have had. They haven't created as much of their own. In that period, the best chance was the mistake by Kulak that ended up in the back of the net for the Dallas Stars. So the Oilers, there's going to be mistakes. Both teams are going to turn the puck over. It's just how big a mistake at how big a moment in what area of the ice. And on that one by Kulak, it was just in a bad spot to, unfortunately, the wrong Dallas Star player. But the Oilers, I think they're pretty comfortable with where they are, and they withstood the final 10 minutes. Skinner, the save that Skinner made, if the Oilers go on to win this game and move on to the Stanley Cup Finals, the save that he made on the Thomas Harley shot shorthanded, that is the difference, right? To me, it's 3-1 for Edmonton. The Oilers are on the power play. The first unit doesn't score, and then Thomas Harley gets a one-timer from the slot that Skinner has to throw at his back leg and make a kick save on. If that goes in, it's 3-2, shorthanded goal. That place is going nuts. To me, if the Oilers win this game, that Stuart Skinner save is one of the big reasons they do it.
Great stuff, Rob. More from Rob Brown at the second intermission. Right now, we are at the intermission, brought to you by End of the Roll Flooring Centers. This is your Ford dealers, NHL hockey on the Oilers Radio Network.
Proudly headquartered in oil country, Capital Power is delivering reliable and affordable power today, while building clean power systems for tomorrow. Creating the balanced energy solutions communities across Alberta and North America can depend on. Visit capitalpower.com to learn how they are powering change by changing power. Be part of their energy and join Capital Power as we all cheer on our Edmonton Oilers on their quest to win it all.
Did you know the RCMP polices over 99% of Alberta's landscape? From the oil sands to the Rockies to the prairies, the RCMP has a province covered. Providing policing services to more than 1,700 communities and with over 150 career specializations, the Alberta RCMP has something to fit everyone's goals and lifestyles. Visit rcmpcareers.ca and take the next step towards your career with the Alberta RCMP. A message from the Government of Canada.
With Global News, I'm Thomas Dias. An Alberta woman who was wrongfully released from the Fort Saskatchewan Correctional Centre has been arrested in Revelstoke, BC, along with a 27-year-old man who is believed to have been an accomplice in the woman's release. Crown prosecutors say Mackenzie Dawn Hardy had been released after staff were presented with fake documents that showed her charges had been stayed. RCMP say both people will be brought back to Alberta to face charges. The city of Calgary says it plans to reintroduce fluoride into the city's drinking water, saying it's a safe and effective way to prevent cavities and improve oral health. Council's decision to add the chemical to the city's water follows a 2021 vote that found most Calgarians wanted it back. And despite a court ruling that U.S. President Donald Trump's use of an emergency powers law to impose sweeping tariffs exceeded his authority, an appeals court is allowing the duties to remain in place for now. The Trump government has been granted an administrative stay on the Court of International Trade's injunction, while the appeals court considers whether to implement a longer pause. News on demand at 880ched.com.
Did you hear what happened to Rick while he was building his fence?
Yeah, he hit a natural gas line. They had to evacuate his entire neighborhood at dinner time, too. I bet he didn't make any new friends that day.
It cost him a ton to get the line repaired. I wonder why he didn't get his underground utilities marked.
Don't be that person. If you're digging on your property, request a locate for natural gas lines. It's free and can prevent serious injury or financial loss. And you won't upset the neighbors. Visit clickbeforeyoudig.com. A safety message brought to you by ATCO.
Blue-collar work deserves big-dollar perks. Get a heavy wallet with Heavy Metal Equipment and Rentals. Heavy Metal Equipment and Rentals is hiring heavy equipment technicians, maintenance supervisors, PM servicemen, maintenance coordinators, and pretty much every other position that makes Alberta go. We help move the earth that makes Alberta grow. So why not work for a company that makes your bank account grow too? Visit heavymetalequipment.ca to find your new career. Heavy Metal Equipment and Rentals, helping you move the earth.
At the intermission, brought to you by End of the Roll Flooring Centers. Let's get flooring.
Time now for the out-of-town scoreboard, brought to you by Pizza 73, official pizza of the Edmonton Oilers. Memorial Cup semifinal tomorrow. The London Knights and Moncton Wildcats going at it. Of course, Sam O'Reilly, a part of the Oilers prospect pipeline, so we'll be keeping our eye on that. That's the out-of-town scoreboard for Pizza 73. We are at the intermission for our friends at End of the Roll Flooring Centers. Let's get flooring. This is your Ford dealers NHL hockey. Second period action next on the Oilers Radio Network.
At the intermission has been brought to you by End of the Roll Flooring Centers. Let's get flooring.
Today you can score at A&W. Enjoy a juicy grass-fed beef mama burger and fries for only $5. Available in-store or on the A&W mobile app at participating locations in Oil Country. This fantastic deal is available all day today at A&W.
All right, give me something big.
The Ford It's a Big Deal event is on.
Bigger.
Get a big truck and an even bigger deal.
Love it. Now the details.
Right now, lease a 2025 F-150 STX with the black appearance package from $220 bi-weekly at 0% APR for 24 months with $43.75 down. That's like $110 weekly.
Now bring it home.
Plus, there's a $750 bonus for eligible Ford owners. Hurry into your Alberta Ford store or visit Ford.ca today.
When it comes to your new home, nothing should stop you from getting exactly what you want. Coventry Homes puts your needs front and center. They won't deke past your questions about customization, and making changes won't get you sent to the penalty box. With their customizable designs and flexible options, your game-changing home is within reach. Score big with flexibility. By Coventry Homes, the official builder of the Edmonton Oilers.
Play Alberta has hundreds of casino games right at your fingertips. Join thousands discovering why Fortune Coin is one of Alberta's most popular games. Fill your reels with golden coins. Multiply your prizes up to 6 times and turn good spins into legendary ones. Land the Fortune Coin symbol to win cash. Trigger the jackpot. Launch the free spins bonus and watch as the dragon takes over your screen. New players get 100 free spins only on playalberta.ca. Claim your offer today. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Today you can score at A&W. Enjoy a juicy grass-fed beef mama burger and fries for only $5. Available in-store or on the A&W mobile app at participating locations in Oil Country. This fantastic deal is available all day today at A&W.
Listen on air, online, and on the Radio Player Canada app.
This is the Oilers Radio Network.
We bring you back inside the American Airlines Center where the Edmonton Oilers build a 3-0 lead after 8 minutes and hold a 3-1 advantage as we go to the second period of Game 5 of this Western Conference Final. The Oilers lead the series 3-1. They drop the opener here in Dallas, blowing a 3-1 lead in the third period and dropping a 6-3 decision in Game 1, and then came back with a 3-0 shutout in Game 2. Followed it up with home victories of 6-1 and 4-1 in Edmonton earlier this week, and now look to close it out tonight. We'll be skating 5-on-5 to start the second period. The shots on goal in the first were 9-7. Perry on the power play, Janmark and Skinner with the other goals for the Oilers. Robertson has scored in 3 straight games for Dallas. The problem for the Stars is it's their only 3 goals they've managed in the last 4 games, as they've been outscored 16-3 since winning Game 1.
Love that Matthias Janmark said, hey, we got to play a lot better than we did in the final 5 or 6 minutes of that first period. It's a good sign.
Draisaitl wins the faceoff. Kane will kick it back. Wallman to Klingberg, and Kapanen tried to slash it in deep. Dallas will send it the other way, and Stuart Skinner, who made a big save on Thomas Harley's shorthanded bid. I mean, that really could have altered the complexion of this game, but Skinner, though wrong-footed, makes an excellent save on Harley, and now an errant pass intended for Mikko Rantanen, who's had a tough series. Touched up by Klingberg for the icing call against the Stars. 23 seconds into period 2. Jack Michaels, Bob Stauffer with you live from Dallas, Texas, on our Legacy Heating and Cooling broadcast booth, home of no interest, no payments for 1 year.
9-11 against Colorado, 9-29 in the series victory against Winnipeg, 8-53 for Ottinger against the Oilers.
Here's Ekholm stepping up and blasting one over the glove of Casey DeSmith, off the glass, handled by Bouchard on the rebound. McDavid, Nugent-Hopkins, and Perry sent out 5-on-5 by Chris Knobloch. Saucered by Nugent-Hopkins back to Bouchard, changed the angle for a moment, and then elects just to wind it down low for Perry. Grabbed out of the corner and cleared by Rantanen inside the Oiler blue line. Bouchard wants icing, he won't get the call. Up the left-hand side, Matthias Ekholm on to Nugent-Hopkins, and from center center ice. He'll dump it behind Esa Lindell, who picks it up and sends it across to Heiskanen. Couldn't make a play on it. Nugent Hopkins holds the zone. McDavid let it go through, and then a drive-by. Victor Arvidsson did not handle that puck cleanly. Edmonton will complete a change. Heiskanen, in the meantime, directing traffic for Dallas. Up to Marchment. Heading for the net is Bourque. And now Jason Robertson will pull up top of the left circle, defended by Janmark, who's draped all over him. Robertson tried to go inside, deflected away from Bourque, and here come the Oilers. Maybe a 3-on-2 right to left. Janmark will spin it ahead for Arvidsson, but Colson is the other member of this line. The puck high in the air, batted down by Robertson and grabbed by Miro Heiskanen. He'll lug it up to the red line and send it in deep. Skinner to knock it down for the Oilers. Off to Brett Kulak. Mishandled initially. Got it back from Tyler Seguin. It was Kulak who had it stolen by Wyatt Johnston that led to the Robertson goal that put Dallas on the board, and now he fumbles one away again. Seguin down the middle. Marchment to the net. Sagan's drawn a penalty. Kulak the steal, and now we'll have the hooking call. 2:02 to go in the second period. Oilers had a couple of chances to get the puck out, and Brett Kulak couldn't do it, and now he'll go to the box.
27 Edmonton's got a minus for a hook.
Kulak's having to play the right side here tonight, and he's had a turnover, and he's had a couple tough puck touches. Might be a little bit more comfortable on the left side, and it was a hook. There's no question. So Dallas goes on the power play, Jack.
And Dallas's power play has cooled off after scoring on 3 consecutive opportunities in the first 6 minutes of the third period in the season opener. Just 1 goal since. They've been 43% at home on the power play. The Oiler penalty kill, as I just mentioned, after that Game 1 disaster, has issued only 1 goal in the last 8. Here's a chance for Mikko Rantanen, loading up right circle. Shot blocked by Wallman. Rebound out to Thomas Harley. Napa Auto Parts penalty kill, Bouchard and Wallman with Podkolzin and Henrique. A shot from distance, blocked by Nugent Hopkins, shoveled ahead and out of the reach of Adam Henrique. The Oilers will change up the foursome. We'll see McDavid a lot more on the kill with the injuries to Connor Brown and Zach Hyman. And McDavid's out there right now against Wyatt Johnston. In across the line. Stars control. It's Matt Duchene. Out to the point. Harley. Back down low for Duchene. Angled off to Harley. Left point shot. And that was blocked. Ekholm comes up with a puck. Tries to get it through Mikko Rantanen. Unsuccessful in that endeavor. Booted over to Duchene. Corralled by McDavid. And he's able to drive it through the stick of Harley and back to center. Thomas Harley attacking zone left to right. Drops it off for Rantanen, then gets it back and winds it along the end boards. Little reverse pop, came free to McDavid, tried to get through Rantanen, didn't manage to muster a clear inside the Dallas blue line, and McDavid now changes as Kasperi Kapanen with pressure up ice against Granlund. Mason Marchment spins and backhands one down low for Robertson. Lost the handle. Bouchard failed to get it out. Marchment, for the moment, keeps it alive. Here's Miro Heiskanen to Granlund. Momentary bobble, got it back in the right circle, threw it out. Heiskanen. Granlund loads up, no shot, tried to chip it down low to Marchment, and that did not pan out. Wallman comes over, has a chance to move it alongside Podkolzin, who thought his stick was held. Dallas a poor pass back to the point, and Heiskanen has to reload as the penalty comes to an end. Dallas wants another call. Marchment went down in a heap. Doesn't get the call. Penalty is over to Brett Kulak. He's out of the box just as Edmonton clears up the right-hand boards. Fresh troops for both clubs with 15:45 to play in the second period. And Edmonton leading Game 5 of this West Final by a count of 3-1. And Dallas is going to be guilty of icing the puck. Cody Ceci, a bit of an unforced error. And this will be an ozone draw for the Oilers, who look to close out the series tonight. Never in the McDavid, Draisaitl, Nurse, Nugent Hopkins era has Edmonton allowed a team to extend a series. They've closed it out every time they've had a chance to put it away. Now, they've lost a couple of Game 7s, but they were down 3-2 in both of those series. Anaheim in 2017, and of course last year in the Stanley Cup Final when they were down 3-0 against Florida. Here's a lead pass off the draw. Cody Ceci will snap it in. Kulak freed from the box up to Frederick. And now with Draisaitl and Kane. Here come the Oilers. Draisaitl to Kane. Left circle. Forced out wide. Wrap around. And a diving DeSmith is able to come up with it. Casey DeSmith, in his 8th year, worked his way up from the ECHL through the Penguins organization, and at age 33, getting the call in relief after Ottinger yanked.
That almost went through his pads to Draisaitl on the back door.
It did. Just got it with the left pad.
Would have been a tap in for Leon.
It was juicy and sitting there, but Smith able to splay the legs out and then squeeze them shut before Draisaitl could nudge it home. Henrique centering Jeff Skinner and Victor Arvidsson. Wins the faceoff. High slot. Nurse will put it down low. Arvidsson and Skinner trying to hunt down the puck in the corner, but Esa Lindell able to come up with it for Dallas. Poor pass through the wickets of Roope Hintz. Here's Adam Henrique shooting, and a block shot for Lindell. Down in a heap, Jeff Skinner pursuing that rebound. Kept it alive. Brilliant steal in the high slot. Skinner rolls his way to the net with a centering pass that slips dangerously wide and cleared by Roope Hintz out to center ice. Rantanen drop pass Cody Ceci outside the right circle in the attacking zone, thundered into by Darnell Nurse, his longtime partner on the back end here in Edmonton. Arvidsson gets a little nudge ahead from Darnell Nurse and shovels it in. I never get tired of seeing the hockey players try to elevate their teammates with a well-timed stick nudge to the midsection. Here's Corey Perry from center ice. He'll shoot it in. Round the boards, McDavid able to knock it down. Guy Godowski used to do that to you, from what I understand, back in the early 80s.
He would have needed a big stick to do that.
Here's McDavid off to Matthias Ekholm up the left-hand side. Nugent Hopkins will bump it in. Cody Ceci up the right-hand boards, and you've got a clear for Alex Petrovic through the middle. Maverick Bourque in over the line, and a hand pass whistled against Dallas. Maverick Bourque, the leading scorer in the American Hockey League.
At 7:24 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time Thursday, Environment Canada has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for north-central Alberta. Extra care and attention should be exercised in and around the following localities: Leduc, Camrus, Wetaskiwin, Tofield, Edmonton, St. Albert and Sherwood Park. Environment Canada meteorologists are tracking a very dangerous thunderstorm capable of producing destructive wind gusts. Take cover immediately if threatening weather approaches. Intense lightning is likely, and tornadoes are possible with any thunderstorm that develops.
Down the left wing, Kapanen lurking close by, looking to offer support. Harley flattens Kane. Kapanen backhands it out. Bouchard, his stick explodes on a one-timer. Wrist shot Kane, turned aside by Casey DeSmith. The rebound cleared but not out. A steal. Kasperi Kapanen, one-timer coming in. DeSmith with a good save on Leon Draisaitl in the right circle. Stars will bring it the other way. DeSmith beat Edmonton twice last year as a member of the Vancouver Canucks. And Bob and I were a little surprised that they stayed with Shelovs throughout that series. By the end of the season, Rick Tocchet had lost confidence in DeSmith, and it was Shelovs the entire way in a 7-game series that went Edmonton's way against Vancouver. Here's a dump in by the Oilers that ends up going off a pair of sticks and flies out of play with 12:53 to go in the second period. The Edmonton Oilers have outshot Dallas 14-7, nearly halfway through Game 5 of this West Final, and the Oilers have forged a 3-1 lead behind goals from Perry, Janmark, and Skinner. This is live coverage of the Stanley Cup playoffs from Dallas, Texas, the Oilers Radio Network.
Athletes know that to advance your career, you've got to be part of a winning team. So what about you? Are you working for a winning team? Well, here's your chance to do just that. Brandt is a strong and stable industry leader with career opportunities across Canada. We have hundreds of positions available right now, from parts, sales, positioning technology, heavy-duty mechanics, and more. Be a part of a winning team. Earn your stripes by joining Brandt today. Find out more at BrandtJobs.com.
Our people, our team.
It's what business owners almost always say is their most important resource. But strong businesses don't just find great people. They make sure their teams stay healthy, engaged, and performing at their best. A benefits plan from Alberta Blue Cross is more than just drug and dental. They support the whole person with flexible coverage levels that fit the size.
Hey, you! Yeah, you! I'm talking to you! Thanks for hanging out with us tonight for Game 5 of the Oilers and the Stars! Oh yeah, we are passing 104,000 subscribers tonight during this stream. Thank you so much. Now that we've got your attention, if you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, what are you waiting for? Smash that subscribe button, turn on the bell so you don't miss it when we go live for the rest of our Playoff Pulse campaign. Hangout coverage for every game of the NBA Finals and our Stanley Cup Finals, hopefully with the Oilers in there representing Canada. Now we've got to get back to the chat. We are live for the Blue Jays and the A's right now and the NBA Eastern Conference Final between the Knicks and the Pacers. Thank you for joining us in this amazing community. Thank you to all of the insiders who have already hit that subscribe button on the way to 104,000 and beyond. Thank you so much for being here. Good luck to your team. Hopefully it's the Oilers. Go Oilers, go! We'll see you back in the chat.
Edmonton has been superb in closing out games in this postseason. Game 1 of this series, a notable exception. Now the Oilers look to put the Stars away and set up one of the most anticipated Stanley Cup Finals in the last several years. Certainly a rematch that a lot of people wanted following a thrilling 7-game set last year between Edmonton and Florida. Cody Ceci through the middle for the Stars. He'll dump it in. Oilers back in their own zone. Chipped up the left-hand side by Kulak. Put Colson on to Matthias Janmark, who has a goal in this game. Arvidsson to Nurse. A shot stays out. Rebound live. Hop off the boards. But Colson can't get there. Blackwell will. Up to Jamie Benn and on to Sam Steele out of Sherwood Park. He got belted by Nurse and sent it in deep. Skinner to leave it for Brett Kulak. But Colson will launch one inside the Dallas blue line, settled by Bischel. The towering Swiss defenseman over to Alex Petrovic. Born in Edmonton. Pumped up the right-hand side by Marchment into the Oilers zone. Jeff Skinner taps it ahead for Adam Henrique, and he'll shovel it behind the Dallas defense. Miro Heiskanen looking left-hand side for Lindell. Henrique had it wrestled free. Now Marchment back behind for Lindell. Launches one up the boards and chopped free to center. Duchesne will shoot it in. Around the boards, it's John Klingberg. He'll put it back behind for Jake Wallman. Sends it up the left-hand side. Skinner unable to seal it, and then Heiskanen shot deflected on net by Marchment. Good save by Skinner. First shot of the period for the Dallas Stars. Offense has been dormant. Duchesne out to Lindell. Heiskanen loading up. Top of the right circle. Back to Lindell. A shot. Double deflection. Rebound. Slammed into heavy traffic, but went through to Heiskanen. Lindell again toward the net. Matt Duchesne and Marchment have worked hard in this series and created lots of chances. Just haven't finished. Sagan to Duchesne and back to Marchment. This line has been dangerous, Bob. Lindell, Heiskanen, right circle to the middle. Duchesne, one extra pass, and Marchment failed to finish. In the lane, however, was Jake Wallman. I'm not sure if he had got it cleanly away that it would have gotten to the net. Jeff Skinner trying to clear, kept it alive for Wallman, and it's pitchforked back safely to the Dallas line. Edmonton desperately needed a change and got it. Skinner's exhausted. He's the one guy who didn't get off. A shot from distance. Stuart Skinner would love to wrap it up. Here's a centering pass, and Skinner a tough save on Maverick Bourque. Point blank. Rebound to Cody Ceci. He rifles one wide from the right half boards. Held in by Harley. Edmonton caught in a spin cycle here. The Oilers desperately need a clear and a change. Wyatt Johnston down low. Centering pass. Open man. Skinner. Sprawling left hand save. Magnificent on Wyatt Johnston. A tremendous stop by Stuart Skinner. Rebound, Draisaitl. Big save on Harley in the first, and Johnston robbed here in the second. Oilers advance. They'll be talking about that save. Another centering pass and slipped just wide. Another good look. We've got a penalty coming. It'll be against Edmonton. Ekholm doesn't like it. Matter of time. I mean, the Stars are all over the Oilers. Sent in deep by Harley. Whipped around the boards. Draisaitl able to get a touch, and the exhausted Edmonton Oilers will be short-handed and get some fresh troops out there. Interference call coming against Edmonton. Ekholm chagrined at the call, but nevertheless, he'll be the man going to the box. What a stop by Stuart Skinner. Wyatt Johnston with a couple of really good looks. And he prevents Dallas from drawing closer, at least for now. Stars power play on deck. 3-1 Edmonton. This is 4 Dealers NHL Hockey. The Oilers Radio Network.
Looking for custom flags, banners, or canopy tents? Aurora Flags and Banners has a dedicated team to provide you with custom solutions and quality products. Aurora Flags has proudly serviced Canadian businesses and organizations for more than 30 years. Get a quote today at auroraflags.com.
Tired of skyrocketing energy bills? Switch to clean, affordable power with Horizon Solar. Whether you want to cut costs, go green, or increase your home's value, Horizon Solar has you covered with tailored solar energy solutions. With current government incentives, there's never been a better time to make the switch. Own your power, control your bills, live sustainably. For your free assessment, call Horizon Solar today or visit horizonsolar.com to get started. Horizon Solar, where going green makes sense.
Hockey season is back. And so are the deals at Boston Pizza. Cheer on your team while ordering off their game day menu, or come in and see what great promotions they have going on. At Boston Pizza, they always have something craveable for you to enjoy. Boston Pizza, proud partner of the Edmonton Oilers. Cheers to a great hockey season. Looking for custom flags, banners, or canopy tents? Aurora Flags and Banners has a dedicated team to provide you with custom solutions and quality products. Aurora Flags has proudly serviced Canadian businesses and organizations for more than 30 years. Get a quote today at auroraflags.com.
Listen on air, online, and on the Radio Player Canada app.
This is the Oilers Radio Network.
Dallas at second power play of the evening. Edmonton a 3-1 lead and off the draw, one by Henrique. Bouchard had a chance to clear, didn't get it done. Nugent Hopkins able to power it out to center ice. 8:40 and moving here in the second period. The Oilers didn't allow a shot for the first 9 minutes of the second period, then got caught in an extended shift, took a penalty. Ekholm in the box. McDavid shorthanded with a steal on a dump in, and he'll just conservatively chip it behind the Dallas goal. McDavid out there with Kapanen, and McDavid makes a steal on Harley, who quickly closes on him and forces McDavid to give up the puck and change. On the ice to join Kapanen now is Podkolzin. Nurse and Kulak round out the Napa Auto Parts penalty killing unit. To the net, Rantanen, and he muffed it. Right circle. Rantanen's had a tough series. Robertson back to Rantanen. Quick shot, save, Skinner. Pushed across with the right skate. Stuart Skinner once again at the top of his game tonight in Dallas. Rantanen fields a pass from Harley. Shrugs off one check. Driven back to Harley by Rope Hintz, who steps up right circle. Rantanen from the goal line. Peers inside. Oilers have it closed off. Rantanen out. Shot Harley. Smothered by Podkolzin. In front, and Hintz scores. Wyatt Johnston sets up Rope Hintz. Power play goal, and the Stars are back in the game. It's 3-2.
Well, the Oilers had three quick forward rotate, like 20 seconds, and Nugent Hopkins and Henrique were off, and then McDavid and Janmark were off in about 25 seconds, and they capitalize about 40 seconds into a shift for Podkolzin, and if he doesn't block the puck in the first shot, they don't score. But the puck went right to Dallas, loose change, and Not much Skinner could do. A high seam look there for Rope, hence game on.
No chance.
No chance, but game on, Jack.
And give Podkolzin credit. I know you didn't mean... it's a good block. It just goes right to a Dallas stick, and now off the center ice draw, the Stars dump in, deflects off a stick, and sails out of play. We'll have a face-off out at center with the Oilers now leading 3-2 and 7.5 to play in the second period.
But both teams 1 for 2 on the power play. The Oilers were building up the 3-0 lead. Well, now it's 3-2.
Edmonton led 3-1 in the opener in this building and gave it away. Lost 6-3 as Dallas got 5 in the third. Mattias Ekholm will dump it in. Stars D-to-D, Heiskanen up the right-hand side. Duchesne didn't get it in deep, so McDavid rolls it over to Klingberg, then got it back. Connor McDavid busting in right-hand side to Evander Kane. Didn't get a shot away cleanly. Tried to give it back to Draisaitl. Off that failed penalty kill, McDavid, Draisaitl, and Kane out there 5-on-5. Sagan walks it in the other way. Duchesne short side, trying to set up Marchment. And that did not pan out. Out to Lindell on a deflection to Heiskanen. Sagan tried to chip it back to Heiskanen, but McDavid got a piece of that puck. The outlet pass on target for Marchment, but offside on the play will be Matt Duchesne with 6:37 to go in this second period. And Edmonton's lead, once 3-0, has been trimmed to 3-2. And the Stars have rattled off the last 6 shots on net in this hockey game. And it started with that 5-on-5 shift.
Well, unfortunately, Skinner's the left wing. He got caught in the far side of the ice, and he had to stay home so he couldn't hit a long stretch as the Oilers tried to complete a change, and then he just got caught out there. They were in the spin cycle, as you mentioned, for over a minute.
Face-off win for the Stars. Dallas able to drill it in deep. Nurse did not get it out initially. Frederick with Jamie Benn able to free it up for Sam Steele. Steele lost the handle. Frederick came right back into his midsection. Alex Petrovic thought about pinching, but instead it's Janmark putting it behind his own net. A big hit. Jamie Benn able to land it on Kulak. And Benn now from the short side tried to center and sneak it inside to Sam Steele. Janmark able to tug that away, and the Oilers will escape without further incident. But again, at times tonight, Edmonton has struggled with zone exits.
Kulak and Nurse are having some challenges, Jack.
Granlund in from the right-hand side. You got 2 lefties on that pairing, of course. Wristed down deep by Cody Ceci. Around the boards and nudged free to Hintz. One-timer ripped and blocked by Ekholm. That'll lead to a breakaway for Connor McDavid. He's in and he scores! Connor McDavid drags it back to his forehand. And Edmonton has regained a 2-goal lead in Game 5. Block shot, Ekholm, McDavid, the finish at the other end.
Well, there's one man in the league that can make that play, and that's the fastest man on the planet, because Hintz did a great job to race back like he had the last bucket of water and the house was on fire. But it was Connor McDavid, full speed, and he deked Casey DeSmith. And the Edmonton Oilers, Connor McDavid has scored his 6th goal of the playoffs, and the Oilers are up by 2.
McDavid, who earlier collected his 100th career Stanley Cup playoff assist. That's his 43rd career goal, and it was set up by the block shot. You do the dirty work at one end, and at the other, you see your captain cash in. Oilers' first shot in more than 5 minutes ends up at the back of the net, and Edmonton leads 4-2. Casey DeSmith now the goaltender of record, by the way. With Dallas having scored its 2nd goal, that takes Ottinger off the hook. And Ekholm, the primary assist on the block shot. One-timer ripped by Wallman as Edmonton enters the zone. That's wide. Rebound Bouchard. He'll put it down low. So Mattias Ekholm with his 53rd career playoff point, and this is 113th career game. Longtime stalwart in the Stanley Cup playoffs for the Nashville Predators, was on the team that lost the 2017 final to Pittsburgh in 6. Here's Wallman. tapped in by Corey Perry from center. Then he tried to backhand it in front. Ceci was there to negate. And that McDavid goal has taken some of the steam out of the crowd. Shot by Ekholm, redirected by Nugent Hopkins, and a save for Casey DeSmith. 4:23 to go in the second period. Well, eventually you're going to need your game breaker if you're going to the Stanley Cup final. And Connor McDavid, with a goal and an assist tonight, has helped stake Edmonton to a 4-2 lead late in the second of Game 5 of this Western Conference final. It's Four Dealers NHL Hockey, the Oilers Radio Network.
Hey, Edmonton. Ever think about who gets your hard-earned money when you buy groceries or gas? For all you know, it could be buying a second yacht or private jet. But at Co-op, they put it right back into the community. That's because they're owned by 120,000 everyday Edmontonians, not a corporation. Feel good about where your money goes when you shop Co-op. Visit in store for details.
MIC is a leader in medical imaging.
Where in the world are you watching from? Thanks for hanging out with us today, this morning, this evening, middle of the night, wherever it is where you're watching from all over the world. Now's the time of the show. Please let us know where you're watching from in the chat. Let us know your city and province in there, city and state if you're in the USA, or all over the world. Send those flag emojis out and let's see where the world is gathering from. Hanging out together, making a difference with SickKids Hospital in Toronto. Thank you for being here. Just by being here, you're making a difference. With every view, it calculates into our donation as we do a percentage every single month.
Where in the world are you watching from? Now's the time to show for you to let us know where you're watching from in that chat or by visiting our new live viewers website. Holy Mackinac! As we are passing 100,000 insiders on Toronto Sports Insider, the playoff pulse is a global force. Visit TorontoSportsInsider.com to see our live viewer map and where fans are cheering from right across the globe. While you're there, check out our awesome new website and fresh merch options. Let's keep growing this global community.
By Casey DeSmith, the only series Edmonton's ever lost up 3-1. Game in 1989. That was the first year Wayne Gretzky played in Los Angeles, and he brought the Kings back from a 3-1 series deficit to win in 7.
Celebrated after they came back, and the Oilers got him the next year.
Well, should he have not celebrated?
No.
Off the draw, Kulak.
He was expressive.
Well,
he is.
When you come back from 3-1, you've earned it.
Yep.
Here's Wyatt Johnston. Driving Skinner, redirected wide of Casey DeSmith, pulled free. Adam Henrique creates for Jeff Skinner. Wrist shot, and that was smothered by Thomas Hurley. Jeff Skinner has already scored in this game. An outlet pass for Maverick Bourque, and he'll nudge it back into the Edmonton zone. Connor McDavid just scored on a breathtaking deke on a breakaway to push the Oiler lead back to 2 goals after Dallas had briefly crawled within 1. Trent Frederick lugs it out of the zone. Maverick Bourque taps it back in. Heiskanen will shoot it around the board, settled by Skinner with 3.5 to go in the second period, and a reset for Darnell Nurse. Edmonton beat Dallas in 6 last year. Finished the series on home ice. Here's Evander Kane in from the left-hand side. Chipped up the boards, not out, wristed wide. Here's Evander Kane trying to center, and that was picked off and cleared to Tyler Seguin. He'll dump it in. After it, against Klingberg, Marchment creates a quick shot from deep, and that was deflected. Marchment on the rebound. What a poke check by John Klingberg. Outstanding defensive work to then muscle it ahead for Kapanen, and the Oilers are out of the zone right to left. Draisaitl turned it over at center. Duchesne, long stretch for Tyler Seguin, right wing, and an offside call, which we can't really hear up top at the American Airlines Center. Our Legacy Heating and Cooling broadcast booth brings the action to a halt with 2:48 to go in the second period, and Edmonton leading by a score of 4-2, 23 minutes away from going back to the Stanley Cup final. Connor McDavid alongside Wayne Gretzky, better than 50% of the time he's got multiple points in a Stanley Cup playoff game. Hard to imagine. But then again, sometimes Bob and I get lured into not really understanding what we're watching. That's how good Connor McDavid is. Rope hints up the gut, and I'm sure the same held true for those who watch Wayne Gretzky in the 1980s. We're just seeing a different level of hockey. McDavid back to Ekholm.
Just kind of took it for granted.
Up the left-hand side, and I catch myself sometimes taking it for granted. I'm sure you're the same way. Nugent Hopkins up the right-hand side. That misfired intended for Corey Perry. 2:18 to go in the second. Icing whistled against Edmonton. If the Oilers win, it would be the second time in more than 60 years that two teams who didn't have home ice in any of the first 3 rounds of the playoffs will meet in the final. The other, 2012, the LA Kings and the New Jersey Devils.
Yeah. Who was coaching New Jersey that year?
Pete DeBoer on the Dallas bench. He's lost a pair of Stanley Cup finals in Jersey and San Jose, and he's looking to avoid losing in this conference final round for the 6th time in 7 years with 3 different teams. Here's McDavid. Off the draw, leading the rush. Thomas Harley has to catch up to him. McDavid shoots, and a save to Smith. Didn't know where the rebound was. Fortunately for him, Mikko Rantanen did and pushed it ahead for Wyatt Johnston. He'll jam it behind the Edmonton defense. Corey Perry on the puck. No team has lost in either the conference final or the Stanley Cup semis 3 years in a row since the Islanders in the mid-70s. Here's Jason Robertson. Dallas looking to avoid that fate. Miro Heiskanen shoots it in. Mikko Rantanen with 2 Oilers on him. Sam Steele comes over. Threw a check from Darnell Nurse and shoveled back down low. Jamie Benn might have gotten away with a hold on Kulak. Controls the puck. Quick snapshot by Heiskanen. Did not make its way through. Janmark smothering Heiskanen. And now Liam Bichsel comes over the board. Centering pass to Benn. He'll give it up. Blackwell to Petrovic. His shot. And a sliding block made by Victor Arvidsson. Double team down low on Nurse. Frees the puck up for Blackwell with a minute to go in this second period. Edmonton 4, Dallas 2. Liam Bichsel. Good work from the 4th line here. Jamie Benn has had a quiet series for the Dallas Stars. Put it behind the net, and Blackwell stumbled, lost the handle, and Darnell Nurse will clear. Ben has just 1 assist in his last 14 games.
He's a pending UFA, by the way.
Here's Alex Petrovic. Fires a pass up the left-hand side. Mason Marchment will send it in. So is Jonathan Taves, it sounds like, returning to the NHL. Lead pass, Draisaitl up to Adam Henrique. Final 20 seconds now in period 2. Oilers at one point with a 3-0 lead in the first. Dallas got it back to 3-2. And then Connor McDavid. An immaculate move off the rush on a breakaway. Dump in by the Oilers. 8 seconds. Lindell's stick exploded on him. Still, the Stars able to move it in. Matt Duchene, right circle, at the horn. Blocked shot by Jake Wallman. And the Oilers are now 20 minutes away from a return trip to the Stanley Cup final. And this must be said, Bob. Rope Hintz scored with 7.5 minutes to play in the second period.
Yes.
The Stars did not get another shot on net. Once again, just when Dallas pushes its way back into the game, Edmonton able to completely stifle the Stars' attack.
Well, at the end of the day here, Jack, both teams are 1 for 2 in the power play, but Edmonton has outscored Dallas 3-1 at even strength in this game and 12-4 in the series, 5-on-5.
And 5-on-5 in the Stanley Cup playoffs, Edmonton is plus 16 and Dallas is minus 10. Ultimately, Bob, it is hard to
almost
advance
impossible
as far as Dallas would like with those kind of numbers.
No.
They've been chasing it, and Pete DeBoer said it early in the series. We have got to avoid a situation where we keep chasing the game.
Just should mention Josh Clausen, longtime CTV weatherman, saying anybody down at the Moss Pit for the Oilers watch party needs to get indoors and find shelter for the next little while.
We got a storm coming?
We got a storm brewing in, and there's wind gusts expected at 100 kilometers an hour.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
All right. Yes, so please take cover.
Yep.
I mean, have a good time, but make sure you get yourself inside. And trust me, Bob can tell you all the downtown establishments. They know them by name. I mean, again, We lost a great man. George went. Norm of Cheers. Bob is greeted the same way at various downtown establishments. So trust me. Just tell him Bob sent you, and you'll be treated like royalty in downtown Edmonton tonight. Oilers with a 4-2 lead over the Dallas Stars. Bob, we're 20 minutes away from what you and I have been waiting for a full year, and that's a Stanley Cup final rematch between two great teams.
You know, the Oilers have beaten two great teams already. They're trying to finish off a third one. I mean, LA had a tremendous season. On paper, you know, it was an interesting matchup. The sort of tactical nuances of the series, LA at times with a hard press forecheck, but often sitting back in that 1-3-1.
Got him into trouble.
Got him into trouble against Vegas, you know, a team that's won before.
And won the division this year.
And Edmonton found a way to beat them in 5. And Dallas, a team that had another 50-win season and a team that's been to the conference final 3 times. Oilers are up by 2 here, and I think you brought up the big point. We're 40 minutes into this game. The Stars got 13 shots on goal here. Like, Edmonton's done a good job suffocating the neutral ice. They got 6 defensemen that can handle a puck and make plays. You look at the 2 goals that Dallas scored in this game. Nurse and Kulak went around to the left side. Darnell was over on the right side. I don't know why he didn't stay in front of Lynn. It almost looked like he's
went. Turnover in the second led to the power play goal.
Right.
Because Kulak had to take a penalty.
Right. And so just, don't beat yourself. Know you're playing a good team. Know they're going to bring it. But you're going to get chances. And when you give McDavid a chance like that, sometimes he can finish.
That was some kind of goal. I hope I gave it justice. I'm not sure I could have. Just a magnificent goal from Connor McDavid. His 6th of the postseason, and it's given the Oilers a little insurance heading to the final 20 minutes. It's Edmonton 4, Dallas 2 in Game 5 of the Western Conference Final. We're live from the American Airlines Center on our Legacy Heating and Cooling broadcast booth. Glad you're with us. Take shelter if you're in downtown Edmonton and enjoy the broadcast on 880 CHED, the Oilers Radio Network.
At Fountain Tire, we're all about one thing: taking care of your vehicle. Oh, and your wallet. I guess that's 2 things. Save up to 20% off select tires until June 14th. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
Pizza 73, the official pizza of your Edmonton Oilers. Loyal to the oil, in Edmonton we trust. Rising to the top like a pizza crust. Got the flavors to play, cooking on ice. Hunger happens, gotta score a slice. Let's go Oilers, E-Town unite. Ice District to Jasper, downtown to White. We're in orange and blue, game on the stream. Make the right call, Pizza 73. Let's go Oilers. 737373, Pizza 73.
At Fountain Tire, we're all about one thing: taking care of your vehicle. Oh, and your wallet. I guess that's 2 things. Save up to 20% off select tires until June 14th. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
At the intermission, brought to you by End of the Row Flooring Centers. Let's get flooring.
And nudge free to hits. One-timer ripped and blocked by Ekholm. That'll lead to a breakaway for Connor McDavid. He's in and he scores! Connor McDavid drags it back to his forehand. And Edmonton has regained a 2-goal lead in Game 5. Block shot, Ekholm, McDavid, the finish at the other end.
That is the Highlight Zone, brought to you by Century Casinos. All in, all games, all season. Century Casinos. 3 great locations in Edmonton, St. Albert, and next to Edmonton International Airport. Welcome to the Winner's Zone. Impressive effort there, Rob, by Connor McDavid to make sure they got the next goal after surrendering the 3-2 goal of this game on a power play with Ekholm in the penalty box.
Yeah, it was a big goal followed by a few big saves. Dallas pushed. They got some belief after they got the first goal. They pushed there in the second period, got within 1 and had a number of really good looks. And when they were pressing, sometimes you press a little too far in on the offensive zone. And when there was a block shot by Ekholm, the puck bounces out to Connor McDavid, and it's a foot race. And Connor doesn't lose foot races. Rupee Hintz did his best to try and get back, but there's no chance he's going to catch him. And a wonderful move, like just sneaky good Connor McDavid move. He gets to Smith going completely to his left, and then Connor at the last second just turns left himself. He goes around the right of Smith, puts it into a wide open net. And yes, you could see the excitement on McDavid's face because he knew the importance of that goal. Dallas was pressing. There was belief in that arena. The place was into it. And Connor McDavid quieted them all with a fantastic, gorgeous breakaway goal.
Yeah, it was fantastic, gorgeous. Insert any superlative there. The captain with a man draped all over him. I mean, we talked about back pressure in the last game and how good the Oilers had been at that. Well, it doesn't get better than what Roope Hintz had done, especially in not taking a penalty. And maybe there's only one player in the world who can work through that the way that McDavid did. But again, there's no way to overstate the importance of that goal. And you figured there was going to get to a point in this game where the captain or Draisaitl had to step up, and there was certainly a rising to the occasion there by McDavid.
There was. It's much better as a player on a breakaway to have that kind of pressure on him because it takes away all the thinking. It just becomes instinctual. If he's got a breakaway by himself from center in, there's so many things that go through your mind. Okay, where am I going to put this? Okay, do I fake? And you just start thinking. But when you are being chased, the only thought the entire way down the ice is to keep the puck away from the guy coming from behind you. So you're just waiting. And when you make your move, it's all instinct. And there's no player in the National Hockey League with better instincts than Connor McDavid. So Roope Hintz tried his best getting back, but all he did was force Connor McDavid to do what he does best, and he made it look so easy. But the move he made there was anything but.
So, Rob, you're in a situation now where the team is 20 minutes away from returning to the Stanley Cup final. 2-goal leads. We've seen how this has gone in past. We've also seen them salted away. But I wonder how managing the emotions is going to be in the next 20 minutes for this team.
Well, this team has been really, really good since Chris Knobloch took over because they were in some tough times when he took over of just looking shift to shift, game to game, not looking past anything that was that was just right in front of them. They know they have to take care of business. If you start thinking between periods and as the game moves on, you start thinking, okay, we're this far, 16 minutes, we're 14 minutes from the Stanley Cup Finals. Well, then you lose focus on what's important. You don't want to hope to win this game. You got to go out and win it. And the one thing they can talk about, this Dallas Star team was down in Game 7, 2 goals in the third period to the Colorado Avalanche and came back and scored 4 goals and won the hockey game and moved on in that series. So Dallas is capable. Dallas scored 5 goals in Game 1 against the Edmonton Oilers to come back and win a hockey game they were trailing. And so this game's not over, but what we've seen in the past couple games is an Oiler team understand how to win, understand how to control a lead, not by sitting back, but continuing to be aggressive and not giving easy opportunities. And I would imagine they're going to do the same. There's a ton of excitement to play in the Stanley Cup Finals, but that excitement will come at the end of tonight's game, not during it. So I would imagine it will be shift to shift for this Knobloch Hockey Club.
That's our Inside the Game analyst, Rob Brown. More from Rob coming up in Oilers Overtime after the game. We are at the Intermission, brought to you by End of the Roll Flooring Centers. Let's get flooring. This is your Ford dealers NHL hockey on the Oilers Radio Network.
Rogers is Canada's largest and most reliable 5G network. We're made for Oilers fans. You can stream Leon scoring in Leduc. Watch Tide tie things up in Tofield. Or check out Connor doing Connor things in Kalmar. And even watch Stewart steal the show while you're in Sedalia. Try saying that 3 times fast. Rogers, proud partner and fan of your Edmonton Oilers.
RS Breakers and Controls, Canada's leader in new, used, tested, and obsolete circuit breakers, MCC buckets, bus plugs, and switches. They have everything you need to maintain your aging electrical infrastructure, ensuring it operates as good as new. Their 24/7 emergency response gets you back up and running quickly, saving valuable time and money. Minimal generators or modifications needed, and like-for-like replacements mean no special inspections. Don't replace, repair your legacy equipment with RS. Visit rsbreakers.com.
With Global News, I'm Thomas Dias. It's time to batten down the hatches with a severe thunderstorm warning in effect. Environment Canada says extreme wind gusts to 130 kilometers per hour were produced ahead of thunderstorms to the west of the area, creating the risk of life-threatening injury. Radar shows the wind and rain heading north-northeast, threatening damaging hail as well. Meanwhile, on the wildfire front, Westlock County has issued an evacuation order saying it's due to a threatening wildfire in the park. The order is in effect for everyone in the Hubert Lake Wildfire Provincial Park area on both sides of the Pembina River, with evacuees being asked to head to the Spirit Centre in Westlock. And the county says everyone in the surrounding area, including the hamlet of Fawcett, must prepare for a possible evacuation due to the wildfire. Yellowhead County has issued an evacuation order for Piers and areas east, saying there is a wildfire heading eastward from 1 kilometer south of Piers. The reception center is at the Holiday Inn in Edson, and Peerless Trout First Nation has issued a mandatory evacuation order due to a number of wildfires in that area that may affect access in and out of the community. The order is for the communities of Peerless Lake and Trout Lake. Evacuees are being asked to head to the Legacy Center in Slave Lake as a checkpoint and for directions to hotels here in Edmonton. News on demand at 880ched.com.
Celebrating 70 years in the signage industry, William Huff Advertising is the most recognized name in the game. An in-house, one-stop shop for all of your design, print, and installation needs. William Huff provides quality graphic solutions for everyone. Here in our City of Champions and throughout the nation, they are the preferred signage partner entrusted by many of the biggest corporations, pro sports teams, and organizations to bring their identity to life. Recognize the name, get in the game. WilliamHuff.com.
Did you know The Brick is proudly Canadian-owned and operated? We started right here in Canada over 50 years ago. Now, our 5,000 team members are proud to be your neighbor in more than 200 communities across Canada. And we support all Canadians with a growing selection of quality-made Canadian products and manufacturers. Nobody knows more about furnishing Canadian homes at the guaranteed lowest price than us. The Brick, saving you more.
The Intermission, brought to you by End of the Row Flooring Centers. Let's get flooring.
Time now for the out-of-town scoreboard, brought to you by Pizza 73, the official pizza of the Edmonton Oilers. Taking a look on the diamond as it is all quiet on the ice tonight. Toronto Blue Jays picking up a 12-0 victory over the Oakland, soon-to-be Vegas Athletics. That is the scoreboard, out-of-town style, brought to you by Pizza 73, the official pizza of the Edmonton Oilers. We are at the intermission, brought to you by End of the Row Flooring Centers. The Oilers up 4-2 after 40 minutes. Goals coming from Corey Perry, Matthias Janmark, Jeff Skinner, all of those in the first half of the first period, and then Connor McDavid as well. We are at the intermission. This is Ford Dealers NHL Hockey, third period action on the Oilers Radio Network.
At the Intermission has been brought to you by End of the Row Flooring Centers. Let's get flooring.
Get paid to stay with Edmonton's best hotels. Book through edmontonsbesthotels.com and receive up to $225 in gas, meal, or cash cards. There's over 52 hotels to choose from. Edmonton's best hotels. Get paid to stay.
Listen on air, online, and on the Radio Player Canada app. This is the Oilers Radio Network.
4-2 as we head to the third period. Jack Michaels, Bob Stauffer with you live from our Legacy Heating and Cooling broadcast booth. The Edmonton Oilers raced out to a 3-0 lead in tonight's Game 5. In the first 8 minutes, power play goal by Corey Perry, Matthias Janmark, and Jeff Skinner followed suit. The goal by Jason Robertson brought Dallas within 3-1 at the end of one, and then when Rope Hintz scored on the power play with 7.5 minutes to go in the second period, it looked like game on. But 2 minutes later, Matthias Ekholm blocked a shot. Connor McDavid picked up a loose puck, outraced Hintz to the net, and made a beautiful deke on relief goaltender Casey DeSmith to score. Ottinger had been pulled after giving up goals on the first two shots he faced in 7 minutes. And that made it 4-2. And just as importantly, Bob, the Oilers did not permit a shot on net for the final 7.5 minutes of the second period, and they've been stingy. The last two third periods in this series, Edmonton is... Well, the Stars will try to summon one final great period to try to force a Game 6 in Edmonton on Saturday night. Otherwise, it's Edmonton and Florida in what would be the third Stanley Cup final rematch since 1978. You're talking 2008, 2009, the Penguins and the Red Wings. Red Wings won the first series. The Penguins won the next one. And then, of course, the Oilers themselves in 83 and 84 against the Islanders, who won the first series, only to see Edmonton end its amazing run of 4 consecutive Stanley Cups and 19 consecutive playoff series won in 1984.
And one of the things that helped Edmonton, the most maybe important goal in Oilers history, scored by Kevin McClellan, a 1-0 victory in Game 1. But Games 3, 4, and 5 were in Edmonton.
It was a 2-3-2 format.
That helped the Oilers in both the 84 and 85 playoffs.
And ended that practice. I mean, the Oilers changed the NHL rule book. They went back to 2-2-1-1-1 because they felt 2-3-2 was unfair. Draisaitl will start the period on a line with Kasperi Kapanen and Evander Kane. Ekholm and, well, it looks like, what are we doing? Wallman and Klingberg, rather, will be the defensive pairing with Stuart Skinner in the pipes. And as Bob mentioned, just 13 shots for the Dallas Stars, but Skinner, 2 tremendous saves in this game. One shorthanded against Thomas Harley and another against Wyatt Johnston. He has made 2 terrific saves among his 11 in the game. Draisaitl against Wyatt Johnston, third period underway. Game 5 of the Western Conference Final, with the Oilers leading 3-1 and 20 minutes away from a return trip to the final. Rantanen poked it free from Wallman, but Stuart Skinner was there to gather, and he'll freeze it 10 seconds into this final period. And a big storyline in this game was Jake Ottinger has been sitting since the 7-minute mark of the first period next to our colleague Ray Ferraro. Did not think I would see that at any point in this series.
Ozone draw here. They're going to load up the D with Heiskanen along with Harley.
Negated by the fact Draisaitl won the face-off and a high floater sent up ice by Jake Wallman. Evander Kane in on the forecheck with Kasperi Kapanen. 4-player pile up in the corner as Kapanen tries to lodge it against the dashboards. Eventually sent back the other way by Robertson. Kane briefly had a look but had it bumped off his stick, and now Rantanen right around Connor McDavid. Hits Robertson. Wrist shot. Score! 4-3. Jason Robertson stays hot. Second of the game, 4th in his last 3 games, and the lead is 4-3. With nearly an entire period to play, it comes just 38 seconds into the final period.
Well, that's the first bad goal that Stuart Skinner has given up in the last 4 games. And it's from distance, and it was too easy of a zone entry, and he just beat Skinner. That's all there is to it. He'd be the first to tell you he's got to have that.
Just a little wrist shot along the ice. Goes 5-hole on Stuart Skinner. 4-3. Well, what you said, though, Bob, you can't score if you don't get a shot on net. Yep. And Dallas had managed just 13 in the first 2 periods. And now, all of a sudden, this crowd in an uproar. Esa Lindell up the gut, 1 touch on to Mason Marchment. He'll leave it for an on-rushing Cody Ceci. Wrist shot, and this one held by Stuart Skinner. As Ceci, that was a let's check. Let's check what the heat meter looks like.
Well, the Oilers had a little act going on when Casey DeSmith went in.
Correct.
Rantanen and Harley on the assist, Jack.
Rantanen with his 3rd point of the series. Thomas Harley has started to get going. He had not had a point through the first 3 games. That's his 3rd assist in his last 2.
Edmonton's going to have to dig in here.
4-3 Edmonton. Minute gone by. Final period. Offensive zone face-off. McDavid against Wyatt Johnston, who's been a little bit more noticeable in this Game 5. Johnston wins the face-off. Heiskanen to Harley. Trade the puck up top and shoveled down low. Robertson had it bounce over his stick. Here's a lead pass from Kulak on net. And Casey DeSmith will drop it for Heiskanen. Up the left-hand side, Johnston. And now you've got Robertson. Bumped in by Rantanen. Taking it hard to the net. And swung off his stick. But a steal by Robertson. Rantanen in the corner. Shovels it out in front. Harley Had it, lost it in his feet, and got belted by Darnell Nurse. But Colson waiting for an outlet that doesn't come. Rantanen, centering pass, comes out. Johnston, drag move. What a play by Victor Arvidsson. The steal, and now a 2-on-1. Arvidsson in for the right-hand side. Drag move, shoots, and that was blocked by Miro Heiskanen. Still a heck of a defensive play by Victor Arvidsson as Wyatt Johnston was a toe drag away from having a point-blank look to tie. Flipped out by the Stars towards center. Grabbed by Jeff Skinner and fired right back in off the plexi. Big reverse hit by Bischel on Trent Frederick. He's down in a heap in the corner. Wallman takes a shot. That was swallowed up by Mason Marchment. Puck comes free. Harlan shakes off a stick check, got it up to Mikhail Granlund. In over the line, left wing. Granlund leaves it in the corner for Marchment. Behind the net, grabbed and played up top. Shot Petrovic, and that was deflected. Rope Hintz lurking, makes a steal right circle. Put it into the corner inexplicably for Marchment. Now a shot, and that was blocked. Mikhail Granlund had that shot deflected away, and it's Klingberg up to Trent Frederick. He'll reach the red line, and that's all. Marchment took it away. Granlund, maybe a hook from Adam Henrique that wasn't called, and Wallman looking for Skinner too far. Wristed down deep by Lindell, and Edmonton all of a sudden on its heels a bit here. 3 minutes into that third period. That goal might have shaken up the Oilers just a bit. Wallman to Leon Draisaitl, trying to change the complexion of this period. Here's Evander Kane swooping in, redirected home. Kane banked it in off a Dallas defenseman, might have been Lindell, and just like that, Edmonton's 2-goal lead is restored 5-3. Kane's 5th of the postseason.
Well, Kane, look, he was going for the wraparound, and then he just short-sided it in front, and it went right off of Esa Lindell into. He couldn't have designed that better. And
a soft chip over the left shoulder of Casey DeSmith off of Lindell's right skate. Wow. Time 3:21 and another deflating goal against.
I mean, that's
for the Dallas Stars.
Leon Draisaitl will pick up an assist there, Jack. Should, unless they say it, no assist on an own goal.
That wasn't possession.
Yeah.
Here's Heiskanen up the right-hand side for Sam Steele. But Edmonton needed a bit of a momentum turn, and they got it. Here's Heiskanen. Prior to that, quite frankly, the Oilers looked rattled for the first time in the series. Lindell, a wrist shot into heavy traffic. Save made, and a rebound swung wide by Colin Blackwell out to Nugent Hopkins. And he's able to wedge it back through center. Jamie Benn to Heiskanen, looking up ice. Nowhere to move it. From the red line, he'll snap it around the boards. Skinner gives it a look. Draisaitl, a soft chip. That's going to be settled by Sagan. He wheels his way down low, left corner. Tyler Sagan on the puck. Give Wallman a second assist on the goal. So Draisaitl and Wallman with the helpers on Kane's 5th of the postseason. That's his 31st career playoff goal. And his 24th with the Oilers. Draisaitl winds it around the boards. Picked up and shoveled down low by Brett Kulak. Kane elected to let it go through. Harley leaves it behind his own net for Mason Marchment. Harley to Cody Ceci. Up the right-hand side, stuffed initially by Janmark, and then it wound up in the Dallas bench. This will be a face-off to the right of Casey DeSmith, who came on for Jake Ottinger. He's faced 18 shots. He's stopped 15 of them. And Blackwell did not miss by much at the other end, Bob. That shot might have grazed the outside of the goalpost. Skinner, I believe, got a piece with his left skate to help usher it wide. So he's able to bounce back after the soft goal against and keep Edmonton's 2-goal lead intact. Johnston beaten off the face-off by Adam Henrique. Shot Nurse. Glanced off Bischel right to Adam Henrique. Tried to bank it off the Dallas goalie over to Kulak. He'll send it behind the net. Reaching for it, Adam Henrique on the puck. Swings it around the boards one more time. Johnston able to cut it off. Bischel up the right-hand side. Didn't get it out. Henrique back behind. Bischel working over his man. Jeff Skinner powers free, shoots into a crowd, and that was blocked. Rebound, Mikko Rantanen for the Dallas Stars. Moving right to left in this third period. Dallas in the green, Edmonton in the white. We're live at American Airlines Center, 18,500 plus. Lindell to Wyatt Johnston. Forced wide by Darnell Nurse. In the corner, Podkolzin sent Mikko Rantanen tumbling to the ice. Henrique to Kulak, and he's able to brush it back to center ice. Podkolzin comes in on Robertson, who shrugs him off and dumps it in from the Edmonton blue line. First on the puck is Klingberg, sneaks it over to Wallman, and now the outlet pass completed to Podkolzin. And now with a head of steam, here comes Matthias Janmark, working his way over the line. Arvidsson showing a slapper, but no one-timer ever comes, and the puck eventually just wound around the boards. Lindell up the left-hand side for Jamie Benn. Shoved off balance by Jake Wallman. Sharp angle shot. Lindell held by Skinner. He'll pick up his 15th save of the night. With 13:50 to play in the third period, we'll take time out. We're live from Dallas, Texas with Game 5 of the Western Conference Final. Edmonton leading 3-1. Looking to close it out and up 5-3 in Game 5. This is Ford Dealers NHL Hockey, the Oilers Radio Network.
Get ready to live sky high. Sky Signature Suites offers remarkable units for rent featuring sophisticated floor plans, designer finishes, and breathtaking views. Experience resort-like amenities including a full-time concierge, yoga and fitness studios, golf simulator, plus indoor and outdoor lounges for you to live your best life. Visit SkySignatureSuites.com and make your home high above the ordinary.
Hey, Paul Brandt here. You know, Alberta's a special place. From the Rockies to the Plains, it's a land of hard work and big dreams. If you're going to tackle it all, you need a truck that can keep up. That's why I can't say enough about my Ford F-150. It's more than a truck. It's a partner. Rugged toughness, serious capability, and smart features that make your life easier, like available Pro Power onboard. The Ford F-150. Get yours today at your Alberta Ford dealer and tell them PB sent you.
Ready to score big on your outdoor space? It's game time with Park Landscaping. Transform your backyard into a winning arena with Park Landscaping's expert team. From design to maintenance of lush lawns and state-of-the-art synthetic turf to inviting pools and captivating water features, Park Landscaping will make your outdoor space the MVP. Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in the game with Park Landscaping. Call 780-486-2744 today or email info@parklandscaping.ca.
All games, all season. You're listening to the Oilers Radio Network.
Well, somehow you knew it wouldn't be easy, and Edmonton stormed out to a 3-0 lead 8 minutes in, but Dallas has continued to hang around. It's a 5-3 game. The Oilers are less than 14 minutes away from a return trip to the Stanley Cup Final and a matchup with the Florida Panthers in a highly anticipated rematch. Off the draw, you've got Thomas Harley. Mikhail Granlund tried to spin one down low. Rope Hintz. Centering pass broken up. Florida survived a 7-game series with Toronto in the second round, dispatched Carolina in 5 as they did Tampa in round 1. Oilers rallied from 2-0 down to beat LA in 6. Took care of Vegas in 5 and trying to do the same against the Dallas Stars. Miro Heiskanen into the slot, taken away from Mikko Rantanen, and here come the Oilers. Left to right, a high lofted puck thrown on Casey to Smith by Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. The Stars go D to D as Edmonton backs off and completes a line change. Leon Draisaitl with token forechecking pressure. It's Harley up the middle. Jamie Benn swatted it in front for Colin Blackwell. It's taken away by Kapanen. He'll ram it off the boards and down the ice. Rolling puck collected by Lindell. And the clock drained further. We're down to 12:45 remaining in the third period. Blackwell to Sam Steele. Stood up by Darnell Nurse. Ben came over, snatched it away from Draisaitl, who took it right back. Evander Kane, rink wide to the activating Nurse. Cuts to his left and from center ice dumps it in. Cody Ceci back to collect for Dallas. One of several unrestricted free agents at the end of the year. The Stars' makeup could be much different next year. Wallman over to John Klingberg from center ice. He'll shoot it in. Bounding puck picked up by Cody Ceci up the right-hand side. You've got Sagan. Nullified by Adam Henrique. Trent Frederick turns and sends it in deep one more time. To Smith. Off to Lindell. Did not get it out. Frederick choked the puck at the half boards and forced it right back beneath the goal line. Edmonton determined to make Dallas go the full 200 feet. Wallman with his team ahead by 2. Up to Frederick. Jeff Skinner. Not deep, but Dallas with a turnover. Klingberg with a step up, and he'll dump it in against his former club. Now, operating behind the net is Corey Perry against Alex Petrovic. McDavid nearby, but can't make a play, and the Stars make certain of a clear. Bischel nearly overran it at center ice. Tucked back into the Dallas zone by Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. And right now, Edmonton's just not letting Dallas get over the red. Here's Rantanen. Gets it in deep, but no one near the puck except for Connor McDavid, who throws it over to Ekholm, up to Nugent-Hopkins. Had a chance to get it out, did not get it done. So Rantanen given new life, centering pass to Robertson, batted away by Evan Bouchard. Robertson, 4 goals in his last 3 games. Johnston gives it up for Thomas Harley. Dallas has Edmonton hemmed in a bit here for the first time in a while. Harley, Rantanen, centering pass, snatched away by Corey Perry, and he'll fling it down the right-hand side. This will be an icing call against the veteran Perry, who opened the scoring barely 2 minutes into the game on a power play. 10:48 to go, third period. Edmonton 5, Dallas 3. Game 5 of the West Final, with the Oilers looking to close it out.
Well, Edmonton was doing a decent job in the face-off circle through the first 2 periods. The Oilers were at 56%.
Well, they had to do better than they did the other night.
They got destroyed. But hints against McDavid here. Oilers need a change, and McDavid can't get away. Well, they do have Nugent-Hopkins out there, so they got another center.
Hints against McDavid. Bob's deepest-seated fears are what occurred Tuesday night, and that's just getting absolutely cleaned up in the face-off circle. Some people get freaked out by poltergeists. For Bob,
don't lose
face-offs. Face-off games. Here's Heiskanen, shoots it in. Bouchard sends it back towards center. That lands like a 56-degree wedge, grabbed by Miro Heiskanen, and he'll shovel it down deep. Bouchard tries the right-hand side, a couple of hacks at it, but Colson, having had it freed up by Corey Perry, watches Brett Kulak look for the home run for Janmark. That was intercepted by Harley, and he'll power his way back into the zone, only to see Bouchard negate that momentum. A trickling puck eluded Bischel and then poked on net by Janmark before being covered by Casey DeSmith. 10:05 to go in the third. Edmonton playing a territorial type of game right now, and the Stars sitting on 18 shots on net. Bob, I think you'd agree with me. 5 shots in the first 10 minutes. They're going to need more than that if they want to force this game into overtime.
Yeah, no question. And Edmonton just needs to stay out of the box and play within themselves.
Draisaitl out there with Kane and Kapanen. Evander Kane banked one in off Lindell after Jason Robertson had scored in the opening minute of the third period to draw Dallas within 4-3. Face-off win for Duchesne. High flip from Sagan. That was settled by a high stick, I thought, from Evander Kane, but a Dallas player might have touched that puck, negating the high stick. In any event, Sagan dumps it in. Skinner will put it up the boards, taken away by Marchment. Duchesne off balance. Been a tough postseason for him. Draped all over him was Nurse, and the Oilers get a clear from Kulak. Shoveled across to Bischel by Petrovic, and then sent in deep by Tyler Sagan. Edmonton 5, Dallas 3, 9.5 to go, third period. Oilers that far away from another trip to the Stanley Cup final. Bischel back in his own zone. Oilers winning Stanley Cups in 84, 85, 87, 88, and 90. And losing the final in 1983, 2006, and 2024. Robertson comes up with a puck for the Dallas Stars. In 9th trip to the final for Edmonton. And they would match the Philadelphia Flyers as the most playoff series wins by any team other than the original 6. And the Flyers, of course, have been in the league for 12 more years, Bob. That would be a heck of an achievement. Lead pass, Rantanen. gives it the idea of the history of the Edmonton Oilers. Lindell walks in. Wyatt Johnston backhanded in front. Tipped, settled just outside the blue paint. It's the most accomplished team not inside the original 6 in the history of the National Hockey League. You come to Edmonton, and some of the pressure is there to live up to that tradition. Lead pass, a beauty. Wallman to Perry. Drop pass, Bouchard to the net. On his backhand, elects not to shoot, and then missed on an opening where Ryan Nugent-Hopkins was in the slot.
I get it, but shoot the puck.
Granlund will dump it in from center. Stuart Skinner out to handle. 8 minutes to go in the hockey game. Perry again with McDavid and Bouchard. He'll drop it off. Connor McDavid rolls toward the net. Jamie Benn defending. And McDavid lost the handle. And that allows Thomas Harley a clear back to center. But Edmonton is again starting to take the life out of the building. Stars need to find their attack game quickly. Here's Steele to Heiskanen. Harley a shot from distance, sails wide. Rebound off the end boards. Janmark onto Podkolzin. And softly dumped down the ice by Corey Perry. There won't be icing here. Both teams making changes. Harley harassed by Arvidsson. Into a turnover. Podkolzin will shoot it back in for the Oilers. Line change Edmonton. In the meantime, Arvidsson has Dallas's Bischel and Bork occupied and just continues to drain clock in the corner. Draisaitl will join the fray. Arvidsson with seconds rolling off the clock. Now inside 7 minutes to play in the third. The kind of winning plays that put series away. Victor Arvidsson killing about 15 seconds by his lonesome. Dallas gets it in deep. Blackwell freed it up. Drive Petrovic and a glove save on a shot that may have been heading wide by Stuart Skinner. 6:46 remain. Edmonton 5, Dallas 3. Nurse and Bischel jawing at one another. Kapanen has Bork in a headlock. And ultimately the players will be pried apart, and we will take a break from the American Airlines Center. The people in downtown Edmonton can feel it. A Stanley Cup final returning to their city, potentially for games 1 and 2 next week. Can you imagine? Well, 6:46 separating the Oilers from another Western Conference championship. We'll be right back with third period play-by-play in just a moment. It's Ford Dealers NHL Hockey, the Oilers Radio Network.
At Fountain Tire, we're all about one thing: taking care of your vehicle. Oh, and your wallet. I guess that's 2 things. Save up to 20% off select tires until June 14th. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
If you've got educational goals, Portage College is ready to provide the assist. Portage College has over 30 programs, with some offered through blended delivery or entirely online. At Portage College, certificates, diplomas, apprenticeships, degree pathways, and micro-credentials are all within your reach. And just like any good team, it feels more like a family. With their small class sizes, you'll feel right at home in no time. To learn more about Portage College, visit portagecollege.ca. Portage College. It's about you.
Bloom Benefits offers amazing coverage that even the toughest hockey players can get behind. With excellent coverage, they offer things like massage. You want to go? Counseling services. Let's go! Dental coverage. That was not offside. And eye exams. With custom health coverage for any group of any size, Bloom Benefits make every team better, stronger, and healthier. Plans start from just $54 a month. Rethink your benefits today at bloombenefits.ca.
At Fountain Tire, we're all about one thing: taking care of your vehicle. Oh, and your wallet. I guess that's 2 things. Save up to 20% off select tires until June 14th. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
5-3 hockey game, 6:46 to play in the third period. Last year, Edmonton beat Dallas in 6 games in the West Final. This year, the Oilers have a 3-1 series lead. They've won 3 in a row. They're trying to make it 4 in a row and 7 out of 8 against Dallas in this round. The Stars have not led since game 1. Off the draw. Won by the Stars in the Edmonton zone, but Heiskanen fan, and here comes Leon Draisaitl, set up by Adam Henrique. Frederick to the front of the net. Heiskanen, in the meantime, able to erase Leon Draisaitl, but Frederick comes up with a puck behind the Dallas net, steers it out to Klingberg. Across, it's Jake Wallman. He'll wind it along. That's going to be cut off by Heiskanen up the left-hand side. Robertson takes a look. He has 2 goals tonight. Dallas desperate to find some offense down the stretch. Robertson in over the line. Had his pocket picked by Connor McDavid, who scored on a breathtaking breakaway back in the second period. And here the Oilers are able to clear safely to center. Mikko Rantanen pursued by McDavid. Less than 6 minutes remain in Game 5 of the West Final. Cece's pass intercepted by Ekholm and shoveled back to center, tossed back in by Lindell. After the puck is Matt Duchene. Ekholm up the boards, not out. Cece to Lindell, a drive, and that ricocheted wide. Rebound, McDavid able to plow his way through. Sagan didn't get it out. Cece tried a shot that was deflected in front of the Edmonton bench, back to the red line. Over to Esa Lindell. He's another unrestricted free agent. Winds it along. Grabbed on the end boards by Matt Duchene. Heavy traffic forces it back behind the net. Sagan and Cece on the pinch. Sagan. Duchene can't get a shot away. Wound up in the left corner. Jabbed at. Briefly held in by Lindell, but second effort from Podkolzin, and it's back out of the zone. Rifled back in by Cody Cece. Oilers get some fresh men out there. Jamie Benn, a leaping play on an attempted clear by Podkolzin. And now coming up on the puck is Victor Arvidsson. He'll skate away from traffic up to Janmark, and a smart dump in drains the clock inside. 4:45 left in regulation. Oilers 5, Stars 3. Bischel right to left, dumps it in for Dallas. We'll start keeping an eye on that Dallas net occupied by Casey DeSmith after Jake Ottinger was surprisingly pulled just 7 minutes into this hockey game. Petrovic pressured by Evander Kane. Lead pass left wing intended for Hintz, broken up. Well played. Edmonton's Brett Kulak, and once again Dallas forced to go the full 200. It's been quiet. Stars have mustered just 4 shots in this third period, Bob, and none in the last 6 minutes. Here's Wallman scampering to center. And this is what we saw in games 3 and 4.
Well, they're going to have to pull him here next possession. They get up the ice.
3:55 to go. Dallas has nothing going on. Trailing 5-3. Johnston will punch it forward. McDavid trying to hunt down the puck. Robertson back to the point. Thomas Harley, long shot into the feet of Robertson. Turned and had it blocked. Nugent Hopkins stayed in the lane. And a clear up the right-hand side and out. Well executed by Janmark with McDavid following up. Janmark skating at center with possession. He'll roll it into the zone. And now you'd really think, as DeSmith takes a peek at the Dallas bench with 3:25 to go, the Stars have to do something. Heiskanen, pressure from Adam Henrique. The Oilers, a smothering, relentless defensive pressure, forces a bad pass to Marchment, and that's icing against Dallas. 3:14 to go in the third period. And consider this, and Pete DeBoer may rue this a bit of a mistake. You can make a goaltending change. You don't need to take a timeout. He did both, so he has no timeout here down the stretch, Bob. No timeout, and he's down 2, so he can't get fresh bodies because he can't take a timeout. Draisaitl will line up for the face-off against Tyler Sagan. To Casey DeSmith's right-hand side, and Draisaitl wins the draw. Kane smartly back to Ekholm, who smashes it back into the Dallas zone. DeSmith will leave it for Esa Lindell. Kapanen and Draisaitl keep the pressure up ice. Mason Marchment trying to float it through traffic at center, batted down by Draisaitl. Here's Kasperi, Kapanen, wrist shot, and a save made by Casey DeSmith. He had to come up with that one. Draisaitl at the Dallas blue line, lobs it back in. Edmonton will change. DeSmith still trapped between the pipes with 2:45 to go. Thomas Harley races up to center, shoots it in. DeSmith to the bench. Extra attacker on 6-on-5. 2 minutes, 35 seconds left. Pitchfork safely out by Matthias Janmark. Beautifully done. Lands inside the Dallas blue line, taken by Rope Hintz. Ahead to Harley. Edmonton 5, Dallas 3. The Oilers 2:20 away from a return trip to the final. Shoveled down the ice safely by Kulak. A rolling puck. Icing will be waved off. Dallas can't believe it. Rope Hintz will leave it. The The Stars running out of time. Granlund will kick it back to Harley. Nugent Hopkins and McDavid defending. Lead pass right-hand side, Wyatt Johnston. Nurse beats him to the puck. McDavid can't get it out. Nurse behind the net. Granlund trying to keep it alive. Nurse high up on the plexi, and that caromed out of play with 1:54 to go in the third period. Edmonton 5 and Dallas 3. And again, here's where maybe if you had a timeout, you'd take it. But without it, the Stars will keep the flow of play going with a face-off to Stuart Skinner's left-hand side. The Stars just 4 third-period shots and none in the last 9 minutes.
Well, we'll see if Leon can win the draw and Wallman can get that bank pass out off the glass.
I'm not sure Edmonton has ever played better defensively. Ever.
Not over yet.
Face-off win for Leon Draisaitl. Here's Bouchard. Draisaitl has an empty net. He hit Frederick, but the pass a little behind him, and yet Draisaitl maintained, forced it back to center, tossed back in by Robertson. Dallas has to tag back up. In the meantime, Edmonton has an empty net. A lead pass intended for Frederick, not completed, not touched, and an icing call whistled against Evan Bouchard and the Oilers, who make a rare mistake there with 1:33 to go in the third period. And I say that because you didn't have any pressure on you.
Yeah.
You didn't have to make the hard pass up the boards and risk the icing.
Oilers have won 53% of the draws. Draisaitl is 7-8 in this game.
Rope Hintz against Leon Draisaitl. 93 seconds away from a Stanley Cup final rematch. Edmonton up 3-1 in the West Final and 5-3 here in Game 5. Hintz, Draisaitl to Skinner's right. And Ryan Daisy warning both players. Finally, the puck is dropped, sitting on the face-off dot. Bouchard over to Adam Henrique, trapped in the corner by Mikael Granlund. Net is empty, 6-on-5 for Dallas. It's Granlund, tried to saucer it back, stolen away by Leon Draisaitl. He's got a 2-on-1 to end it. Cross ice, misses Frederick, who chased it down in the right corner. And wisely will just try to melt some clock. He gets buried in the corner, stays with it, and finally fished out by Rantanen, but he turned it over. Now Henrique shoots, and that was a deflected puck that ends up wide of the net with 1 minute to go. Edmonton 5, Dallas 3. Here come the Stars. A steal by Henrique. He shoots. It was tipped just wide. And the Stars down to their last 50 seconds. This is the West Final, and this is the finish in Big D. Edmonton just seconds away from another trip to the Stanley Cup Final. Matt Duchene in deep. Mikael Granlund left corner, pursued by McDavid. Flipped in front. Janmark is there. Takes it behind his own net and trapped in the corner. Chipped up the boards. Robertson sends it back down low. Rantanen can't make a play on it. Janmark turns and clears back to center. Settled by Robertson. 20 seconds to go. Duchene will shoot it out of play, and that means the face-off comes out to the neutral zone, and the Edmonton Oilers are going back to the Stanley Cup Final. They've got a 2-goal lead, a neutral zone face-off, and 20 seconds remaining in Game 5. The Oilers are about to win for the 12th time in their last 14 games. They were down 2-0 against LA, and they're going to be 12-2 in the Stanley Cup playoffs since. Duchene and Draisaitl tie up off the draw, wristed back in for Dallas. Kapanen is able to clear. That puck hopped off boards and in the net. Another empty netter. Kasperi Kapanen puts it away. The Edmonton Oilers are heading to the Stanley Cup Final.
Make it, if that's Kapanen's goal, that's 11 different Oilers players with 3 or more goals. Unreal in the playoffs. The depth this team has illustrated. Fortuitous break, undoubtedly. But that's going to seal it.
Bob, 3 consecutive games in the Western Conference Final. Edmonton, leading in all 3, has allowed 4 shots on net in the third period. One final face-off, the Stars have been beaten. Petrovic flips the puck toward his own bench and goes over to console Casey DeSmith. The Edmonton Oilers pour onto the ice. They are the Western Conference champions for the 2nd year in a row. It's Edmonton and Florida in the Stanley Cup Final.
know how devastated the Oilers were losing Game 7 after rallying from 3-0 down. Jack, these were 4 straight poised professional performances after the Oilers really kind of, what did Troy Stecher say first intermission of Game 2? We blanked the bed in Game 1. They owned the Dallas Stars in the final 4 games. I mean, take a look at it. 19-5 were the goals, for and against, in the final 4 games of this series.
The Oilers closed it out, an empty netter by Kasperi Kapanen at 19:49, puts it away. And for the second year in a row, we're going to have Edmonton and Florida. And this year, there's no doubt about who the 2 best teams are. Yep. Florida, an absolute wagon. Edmonton, the same. And these 2 teams on a collision course. Game 1 will be in Edmonton on Wednesday night. And Game 2, I'm told, Bob, maybe Saturday night at Rogers Place. Of course, we'll have the schedule for you on 880 CHED and around the Oilers Radio Network. Trust me, you're not going to not know when the Stanley Cup Final is in Edmonton, Alberta. A very relieved Bob Stauffer to my right, and now one of the greatest traditions in professional sports, the post-series handshake line for a second consecutive year. Edmonton and Dallas pass by one another, with the Oilers having vanquished the Dallas Stars last year in 6 games, this year in 5. And quite frankly, this series was far more in favor of Edmonton than last year's.
Yeah, no question about it. Dallas up 2-1 in game after the first 3 games, up 2-0 in Game 4. The Oilers rallied. Long embraces for Cody Ceci with all of the Oilers players. He's right now with Darnell Nurse, his former defense partner. Cody Ceci was an immensely popular member of the Edmonton Oilers during his time. Got traded basically in a salary dump to San Jose on August the 18th, and ended up getting flipped to Dallas along with Granlund, and both Granlund and Ceci UFAs, as you mentioned. But the Edmonton Oilers are the Western Conference champions for the 2nd straight year.
And Draisaitl and Ceci in particular, close friends, a warm embrace, as Bob talked about. I mean, Cody Ceci was an extremely popular member of the Edmonton Oilers. And Stuart Skinner.
Oh, good.
It must be said, Stuart Skinner, I mean, you talked about it, the one tough goal, but outside of that in this series, outplaying Jake Ottinger for a 2nd consecutive year and showing everyone why Edmonton did not make a move at the deadline, said they believed in Skinner, rode Calvin Pickard through the first 2 rounds of the playoffs as Pickard rolled up a 6-0 record. And then when Skinner came on midway through the Vegas series with the Oilers already up 2-0, he shook off a somewhat disappointing Game 3, came on strong with solid performances in Games 4 and 5, and were it not for a third period meltdown in the opener of this series, Stuart Skinner, I mean, it's really impressive.
But
and again,
Jack,
tonight,
4 shots in the third. That's it.
3 straight games, and none in the last 10 minutes. Edmonton did not allow a shot on goal in the last 10 minutes of a game where Dallas is down 2 with its season on the line. I mean, there could be no more desperate situation for the Stars than a veteran club with a number of expiring contracts chasing the game, and they just couldn't get anything going. And absolutely, you would think, and that's testament to why I'm saying I don't know whether Edmonton, in the history of the franchise, has ever played more solid team defense than we saw in the back end of this series.
The only one I'd look back, and it didn't start off this way for Edmonton, but back in 1990, they outscored Boston, as you recall, 21-8 in the Stanley Cup Final that year, and a very similar closing Game 5 in Boston, the Boston Tea Party.
8 goals against in 5 games. That's pretty good.
That's pretty good, right? So,
well, and a 3 overtime game, as well.
But this was just domination the last 4 games. They kicked the snot out of them. I mean, 4 straight poised professional performances,
and against a team much like their own, veteran. You'd think awfully poised, have been to this round 3 consecutive years, and they'll exit in 3 consecutive years. Peter DeBoer now has presided over a team that has lost 6 of the last 7 Western Conference Finals. He is alongside, I mean, he's got the most wins of anyone without a Stanley Cup in the playoffs, and only Pat Quinn is up near Peter DeBoer when it comes to most victories in the playoffs without ultimately taking home the coveted chalice.
Well, it was, there are a lot of Oilers fans here. The tickets actually dropped in price, Jack. And Connor McDavid.
There's still a fair amount.
Yeah.
I mean, Edmonton maybe hasn't traveled as well as it normally does. Connor McDavid is touching the cup. The Oilers,
they didn't touch it last year.
So they're touching it, embracing the Western Conference trophy. I don't know about it embracing. That might be a bit of a stretch, but Connor greeted it warmly. And now the Oilers will gather around and celebrate, and they're all touching it now. Now they're making sure they touch it just to negate whatever might have materialized last year. And this is where you have to feel great for guys who didn't have spectacular individual seasons. Adam Henrique, Victor Arvidsson, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Jeff Skinner. These are guys that are typically 50 to 70 point guys, in the neighborhood of 25 to 30 goals a campaign, and yet all of them contributed mightily in this Western Conference final. How about Kasperi Kapanen? He was on waivers and ends up playing a vital role.
He's got 3 goals.
He's 2 empty netters. I'll tell you what, Kasperi Kapanen might be the designated empty net goal scorer for this team because, as you know, this team, if it does one thing poorly, it's usually score into an empty net.
Kind of hard to believe.
But the Oilers win the series in 5, the game by a count of 6-3. Bob, hopefully...
We got a couple players coming.
I was going to say...
You might as well stay with me for the Rogers postgame.
I would like to stay with you for the Rogers postgame show.
So what was it,
19-5
in the final 4 games for Edmonton?
I don't know. You're tweeting. You're putting your tweet ahead of the broadcast right now. But yes, 19-5. You've been doing that for at least 10 years. Your obsession with Twitter continues, and yet, nevertheless, we've somehow managed to stay alongside one another for 15 years, and we'll be glad to bring you complete coverage of the Stanley Cup Final, Edmonton, Florida, for a second year in a row, live on 880 CHED and the Oilers Radio Network, and the sounds of jubilation begin to reverberate throughout American Airlines Center and the murky underbearings of this cavernous facility as Edmonton polishes off the Dallas Stars in 5 games after defeating Dallas in 6 last year en route to an eventual heartbreaking Game 7 defeat in Sunrise, Florida by a count of 2-1. This year, of course, the Oilers finished ahead of the Florida Panthers in the regular season and will have home ice advantage in this particular Stanley Cup final. Jason Robertson scoring twice for Dallas, but ultimately a final of 6-3 in favor of Edmonton. Is that Ryan Nugent-Hopkins?
Yep.
Do we have Nuge? Do we have Nuge ringside? Ryan, I don't know where to start. It was another game that's kind of been typical of what we've seen throughout this postseason. I hate beating a dead horse, but the depth of this club, once again, Janmark, Skinner out of the press box on the score sheet. Kapanen seems to be your designated empty net goal scorer. Ryan, is it fair to say this club has more good players that can help you at any time than in any previous year of your 14-year tenure with the club?
We got a great deep group. Guys that are just willing to do whatever it takes and step in at any time that they're needed. And that's what it takes to be a winning team. And obviously, job's not done. We're excited about this opportunity. But, we got a lot of hungry guys in there that are ready to go.
Yeah, I want to just mention, in the last 3 games, they were chasing. You had the lead. They got 4 shots on goal in game number 3 at Edmonton. 4 shots on goal in game number 4 in Edmonton. 4 shots in goal in the third period. 3 straight games. They get a shot in the final 10 minutes, Ryan. It was a clinic, the way you guys defended tonight.
Yeah. I mean, I think obviously we lead with our defense first, and I think in these situations, like, it was probably back and forth a lot in the third. We didn't have a whole lot of O-zone time either, but you got to limit them to the outside and take away anything that's going to obviously cost you. And sometimes stuff breaks down, and Stu held his ground in there and played another great game for us. But I mean, we just we want to defend, and that's our mindset.
Ryan, you've been a perennial contender for a number of years now, yet at times, at least in the regular season, it appeared to us up here that this team was not as good as last year. When did you when did you start to think this team had what it takes to get to this point? Or were the guys always confident that once you were healthy, it would all come together? I'm just curious, as players, did you worry at any point during the regular year?
You don't worry. I mean, you just stay confident and believe in yourselves, and wait until obviously postseason's a lot different of an animal than regular season, and we knew that we were ready when we needed to be. And I mean, we had confidence all the way through. You don't want to get ahead of yourself and start thinking big picture too early, but definitely we had confidence and believed in our group.
Ryan, your team is 18-2. Final question here for you. 18-2 in games 4 through 7 under Chris Knobloch. Now, he'll credit the players and say, I have a lot of really good players, but I sense you guys are even-keeled in part because he makes subtle decisions and doesn't overreact. Is that part of why you guys have been able to continuously improve in series as they've gone on the last 2 years?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, he brings calm presence back there for us, and is able to make those tough decisions sometimes. So you need that back there, and definitely we're ready with whatever he throws at us.
Thanks, Ryan.
All right, thanks, guys.
Okay.
Final 6-3, Edmonton over Dallas in Game 5 of the Western Conference Final. And the Oilers, with this victory, will move into a best-of-7 Stanley Cup Final that I can't wait to see. Bob, we'd be remiss if we don't look ahead and address the fact that the Florida Panthers are going to present a stiff challenge. As much as we believe, in the Edmonton Oilers being as good a team as they've been in the last 35 years, what do you have to say about the opposition and the challenge that's before Edmonton?
Well, they're a hell of a team. They're a great organization. They're very well run. They have maximized reclamation projects, getting Gustav Forsling off of waivers, turning, and they've made players better. Nico Mikkola looks like a different player. Their defense is staunch. They're physical. The Oilers are going to have to match that physicality, but of the two teams that played in the Western Conference Final, Edmonton was far better equipped to be that team. And so, end result here, I think we're going to have a heck of a series. Like, the Oilers are different than last year's team. They're not as fast at forward, but they're better defensively. They don't have... Edmonton was more reliant on the special teams last year. They're a way better 5-on-5 team. And I'm going to say this right now. The Oilers had to implement Philip Broberg in the lineup. The guys love Cody Ceci, but this defense, with Matthias Ekholm back, the Oilers' defense is better right now. This is the best defense Edmonton has had since the 1987 playoff run, when they still had Paul Coffey. They had Ray Ruotsalainen come in. They had Kevin Lowe. They had Charlie Huddy. Like that, I mean,
why do you think
Dr. Randy Gregg, like, that was a great defense. Craig Muni, that was a great defense that they had back then. This is the best D Edmonton has had since then.
Why do you think that is, Bob? Because I look at it, and you've got a banged-up Matthias Ekholm.
Yep.
Evan Bouchard clearly at the top of his game.
100%.
Brett Kulak, an often overlooked guy for much of his career. Jake Wallman, who Detroit no longer wanted, and John Klingberg, who
they tried to sign.
True, but we weren't sure he would play another game in the National Hockey League. So my question to you is, why do you think it's all come together and gelled in a way that a lot of people could not have foreseen? And I put myself in that group. I didn't know whether they could be this good.
Well, the point I wanted to make is Dallas was trying to bring John Klingberg back in. And imagine if they had gotten him. instead of having and Petrovic played great in the series. He was fine.
But what I'm saying is, on the surface, the Oilers' defense don't jump out at you.
But they can all move the puck. That's the biggest thing. And so, how many times have we talked to Stan Bowman the night before games on the road, having a 7-up, and all along he never wavered. Bob, the goaltending, we got a good combination in goal. We've spent our money elsewhere. We need to upgrade our puck moving. We don't need a shutdown defenseman. We need we need one, possibly two more puck movers. Imagine what would have happened if he didn't get Klingberg, before the Four Nations face-off, and then make the trade to get Wallman. They would not have survived the LA series. This team is in the Stanley Cup final. Their best all-around defenseman's played one game, Matthias Ekholm. Right. They got a really good defense. They do. They have a really good team. They shut 3 games in a row down when 4 games. I mean, I don't know how many shots Dallas had in game number 2, but 4.
It was a rocking chair shutout for Stuart Skinner in game 2.
Yeah, at the end of the day,
his best game, I thought, was game 3. That 100%. Was the game where the Oilers were probably the leakiest, certainly in the second period. But as you pointed out, even in the third period of that game, they only allow 4 shots on net. All right, finish the sentence for me. Edmonton beats Florida if
they win the games at home. Let's do Jeff
perfect.
Skinner.
Let's do Jeff Skinner. You know what, Bob? You start this interview.
Jeff, you waited so long to get that opportunity. How stoked were you to be able to assist and contribute and help your teammates out here?
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. Obviously, these guys have been battling for over a month and a half now, and to get a chance to step in and help them out in this game was a good feeling.
How did it feel after 15 years in the National Hockey League to see your Stanley Cup playoff goal hit the back of the net?
It felt nice. Honestly, I didn't really see it go in. I just kind of started celebrating. There's a lot of bodies out there that Freddie and Rico were doing a good job of sort of crashing the net there, and got a bit of a bounce there.
You're playing a real good team, but you got a real good team too. Looking forward to it?
Yeah, for sure. I think... this is what we worked for all year, and everyone's excited to get going, so we're ready to hit the ground running.
Congratulations, Jeff. Enjoy.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jeff.
That's Jeff Skinner with the third goal of the game. It put Edmonton up 3-0, and the Oilers had just enough cushion to withstand a couple of Dallas pushbacks. Twice the Stars managed to get within a goal at 3-2 and 4-3, but Evander Kane banked one in off Esa Lindell, and Kasperi Kapanen turned out the lights with an empty netter. No shots for the last 10 minutes for the Dallas Stars, beaten again by the Edmonton Oilers in the Western Conference Final. This time in 5 games, the Oilers win the series 4-1, and Game 5 in Dallas by a score of 6-3. Stuart Skinner will claim the victory. His numbers not great tonight, but he made a couple of massive saves. Thomas Harley shorthanded. That could have cut it to 3-2 and really kind of blown the roof off this building, which was revved up at times tonight. And then another magnificent stop on Wyatt Johnson, helping keep the Stars at bay. He's now 6-4 in the postseason. His backup, Calvin Pickard, is 6-0 as the Oilers roll into the Stanley Cup final with a pair of goaltenders, each with 6 wins. Jake Ottinger lasted just 7 minutes in this game and was beaten for 2 goals on 2 shots. Casey DeSmith will be saddled with the loss. He came on in relief and faced a grand total of 20 shots, stopping 17. He'll take the loss, and the Dallas Stars have dropped 3 consecutive Western Conference Finals. It's the first time that's happened in the league since the New York Islanders from 1975 through 77. And we now have a official news release from the National Hockey League. Let's set the table for you. All times are going to be 6 Mountain. Next Wednesday and Friday, games 1 and 2 at Rogers Place. Wednesday and Friday, and those will be 6 o'clock starts at Rogers Place, games 1 and 2 of the Stanley Cup Final. Then the series shifts to Sunrise, Florida, and we'll have games 3 and 4 for you on Monday and Thursday, June 9th and 12th. That'll be games 3 and 4 from Sunrise, and then game 5, if necessary, back at Rogers Place in Edmonton on a Saturday night, June the 14th. Game 6, June 17th in Sunrise, and game 7, if necessary, necessary. And boy, wouldn't it be something if it was necessary? Friday, June 20th at Rogers Place. I believe the city of Edmonton could hardly stand it. The city is going to be alive. And you know what else the Oilers did tonight? They made sure the Panthers would not have any more than 1 day of rest. I thought it was vital they finish off the 100%. Series, not only for rest's sake, but the more games you play, the more opportunity you have getting guys hurt. And Edmonton will be reasonably healthy with Connor Brown available for Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final, we believe. No Zach Hyman, to be sure, but now it's a bit of a more even playing field, whereas the more games you play, Bob, as you know, playoff hockey,
100%.
You're that much more likely to get banged up.
Just to finish the thought, the Oilers do have home ice advantage. Florida's a great road team. Win the games at home. I find Florida plays a road style at home, and that's why at times, maybe they open up a little bit more offensively. They're so good on the road. I think they're 7-2 on the road. They're better on the road than they've been at home this year.
Bob, you are aware the Oilers have won 6 of their last 7 on the road.
I am well aware of that, Chuck. I'm well aware of the fact that they're 12-2 in their last 14.
These two teams,
they've been wagons.
They're superlatives, and truly, this is going to be the two best teams in the Stanley Cup Final. We can hardly wait. Let's get to your portion of the Rogers post-game show. A fabulous Western Conference Final, and quite frankly, a fabulous month of Edmonton Oilers hockey. Not sure I've ever seen them play better. They've won 12 of 14 overall, as Bob mentioned, and they close out the Western Conference Final by outscoring the Dallas Stars 19-5 after a stunning, shocking Game 1 defeat where they had the game well in hand before they got into penalty trouble. It's on to the Stanley Cup Final. The Edmonton Oilers looking for their first cup in 35 years, and they'll get that opportunity against the Florida Panthers. A rematch to behold. Bob and I will have Game 1 Wednesday night, 6 o'clock, live from Rogers Place, the opener of a best-of-7 Stanley Cup Classic. For Bob Stauffer and Brendan Escott and Rob Brown, I'm Jack Michaels saying good night from Big D, the American Airlines Center, site of Edmonton's 6-3 victory in Game 5 that secures a second consecutive Western Conference Championship trophy for the Oilers. Next up, the Panthers in the Stanley Cup Final. Ladies and gentlemen, the pleasure was all ours. The Rogers post-game show starts right now.
Exclusive live interviews, expert analysis, and game highlights. This is the Rogers postgame show. Once again, here's Bob Stauffer on the Oilers Radio Network.
And nudge free to hits. One-timer ripped and blocked by Ekholm. That'll lead to a breakaway for Connor McDavid. He's in and he scores! Connor McDavid drags it back to his forehand. And Edmonton has regained a 2-goal lead in Game 5. Block shot, Ekholm, McDavid, the finish at the other end.
That is the Century Casino Highlight Zone. All in, all games, all season. Century Casino's 3 great locations, Edmonton, St. Albert, and next to the Edmonton International Airport at Century Mile. Welcome to the Winner's Zone. We're in the Legacy Heating and Cooling broadcast booth. The Edmonton Oilers have advanced to the Stanley Cup Final. This is the Rogers postgame show on the Oilers Radio Network.
At Sobeys and Safeway Liquor, they recommend pairing locally distilled spirits and their ice-cold beer selection with... And Oilers win! Sobeys and Safeway Liquor, proud partners and fans of the Edmonton Oilers. Please enjoy responsibly.
Do you have tickets to an upcoming event at Rogers Place that you can't attend? Donate your tickets to the Edmonton Oilers Community Foundation Seats for Kids program, presented by Eagle Builders. Seats for Kids provides unused game tickets for charities, allowing children and families to enjoy hockey at Rogers Place. And for many, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. To be a part of the Seats for Kids program presented by Eagle Builders, please email edmonton@kidsupfront.com. That's edmonton@kidsupfront.com.
At Sobeys and Safeway Liquor, they recommend pairing locally distilled spirits and their ice-cold beer selection with... And Oilers win! Sobeys and Safeway Liquor, proud partners and fans of the Edmonton Oilers. Please enjoy responsibly.
This is the Rogers postgame.
Hey Canada, hockey fans, USA hockey fans all over the world, thanks for hanging out with us tonight for Game 5 of the Stars and the Oilers. our Oilers have a chance to make a rematch of the Stanley Cup Finals and take on the Florida Panthers, who dispatched the Carolina Hurricanes last game out. Thank you for being here. Please take a second, hit that like button down below, share this link out to your friends, share it on social media. Let's get more people here in the chat cheering on our Oilers to beat the Stars tonight. Just end this series. Let's get ready for the Stanley Cup Finals. Come on, Canada. Who's with me? Who's excited? We'll see you back in the chat. Don't forget, hit that link that's pinned in the chat and help us raise money for SickKids Hospital in Toronto through part of our Playoff Pulse campaign. I'm getting stuck up on my words. It's time to get back to the hockey. Go Oilers, go! We'll see you back in the chat.
To every child and family who've needed us since 1875, and all who support us, our hospital needs no introduction. But just in case, it's SickKids. And it's our 150th birthday. Our mission has always been healthier children, a better world. The first children's hospital in Canada, SickKids. Pasteurizing milk to prevent disease 30 years before it was mandatory. The heart-lung machine that transformed open heart surgery. A pediatric kidney transplant in 1969. SickKids, SickKids, and SickKids. We discovered the gene for cystic fibrosis so patients live longer lives. And we just created the world's first Atlas of Cancer, using machine learning to analyze 13,000 variations. Today, the hospital sees over 130,000 patients a year. We're a research powerhouse, a training magnet, attracting nearly 600 clinical and research fellows from around the globe every year. And we're the #1 publicly funded children's hospital in the world. We're celebrating 150 years of excellence, driven by philanthropy. What's next? Thanks to donors like you, we're going to keep healing Canada and the world, and we're going to heal the future.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you from the bottom of my heart.
I want to thank you. Thank you for supporting the Kids Cut.
Thank you for helping us save kids' lives.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for being... Thank you.
They will not have that time against Florida. Florida is very aggressive on the forecheck. It is the best team that the Oilers will play in the playoffs. Having said that, the Edmonton Oilers are the best team that the Florida Panthers will play in the playoffs. This is the series I wanted. This is the two best teams, and they both have superstars. The Oilers have superstars that everyone knows, the Connors and the Leons, and the emergence of a Bouchard on the back end. Well, the superstars Florida have are a little different in nature. They got one of the best, if not probably the best, money goalie in the world right now, Bobrovsky, and they have the best two-way centerman in the world. Barkov is the best in the world, and there is a number of other storylines. This is a lot of fun. This is what we want to see, the two best teams going at it, and I can't wait till Wednesday.
All right, awesome stuff, Rob.
Sounds good, Bob.
The Plus Play of the Games brought to you by Catelli Protein Plus. With the classic taste of Catelli and 17 grams of protein, it's the most delicious way to score with your taste buds on and off the ice. This is the Rogers Postgame Show on the Oilers Radio Network.
Rogers is Canada's largest and most reliable 5G network. We're made for Oilers fans. You can stream Leon's scoring in Leduc. Watch tie things up in Tofield. Or check out Connor doing Connor things in Kalmar. And even watch Stewart steal the show while you're in Sedalia. Try saying that 3 times fast. Rogers, proud partner and fan of your Edmonton Oilers.
When was the last time your electricity and natural gas provider made you feel like this? Low rates, no strings attached, year-round perks, and local energy experts who always have your back with Encore by Epcor. Find that carefree energy feeling at encore.epcor.com/carefree.
Customers are free to purchase natural gas or electricity services from a retailer of their choice. For a list of retailers, visit ucahelps.alberta.ca or call 310-4822 toll-free.
Pizza 73, the official pizza of your Edmonton Oilers. Loyal to the oil, in Edmonton we trust. Rising to the top like a pizza crust. Got the flavors to play, yeah. Cooking on ice. Hunger happens, gotta score a slice. Let's go Oilers, E-Town unite. Ice District to Jasper, downtown to White. Wearing orange and blue, game on the stream. Make the right call, Pizza 73. Let's go Oilers. 737373, Pizza 73.
You're tuned in to the Rogers postgame show on the official voice of the Edmonton Oilers, 880 Chad, and on the Oilers Radio Network.
Collect is Wallman. Whistles a pass right side, Arvidsson to the net. Wrist shot, score! Matthias Janmark extends Edmonton's lead to 2-0 in Game 5. The Oilers have 2 goals on 2 shots.
There you go. And that chased stunningly. Chased for me, Jake Ottinger. Pete DeBoer is going to speak. Then the Oilers go after Pete DeBoer tonight. That's the Plus play of the game, brought to you by Catelli Protein Plus with the classic taste of Catelli and 17 grams of protein. It's the most delicious way to score with your taste buds on and off the ice. To the out-of-town scoreboard, Pizza 73. So it's set. Edmonton against Florida. Game 1, Rogers Place, Wednesday night. Game 2 on Friday. Game 3 Sunday. Game 3 is Monday in Sunrise, and Game 4 is Thursday because the NBA has a playoff game on the Wednesday night. So they want alternating nights, so that's why they are not going to. So we're going to get a couple 3-day breaks in this Stanley Cup final. Memorial Cup semifinal tomorrow. Moncton against London. Medicine Hat Tigers await the winner. The Edmonton Oilers have advanced to the Stanley Cup for the first time in back-to-back years since 1987-88. This is the Rogers postgame show on the Oilers Radio Network.
Get paid to stay with Edmonton's best hotels. Book through edmontonsbesthotels.com and receive up to $225 in gas, meal, or cash cards. There's over 52 hotels to choose from. Edmonton's best hotels. Get paid to stay.
Going back to school can be as scary as taking the winning shot, but it doesn't have to be. Northern Lakes College is here to help you meet all your goals and cheer you on. Explore programs in academic upgrading, apprenticeship trades, business and administrative studies, health, human service careers, resource technology, university studies, and more, including a wide range of courses available through continuing education. Score a great future with Northern Lakes College. NorthernLakesCollege.ca. Everywhere you need them to be.
Get paid to stay with Edmonton's best hotels. Book through edmontonsbesthotels.com and receive up to $225 in gas, meal, or cash cards. There's over 52 hotels to choose from. Edmonton's best hotels. Get paid to stay.
All right, we go to the Molson Cup 3 Stars presented by Molson Canadian. The official beer of the Edmonton Oilers, whether it's Canadian Ultra Export or XL or Molson with your name on it, you must be of legal drinking age. Third star tonight with a pair of assists, Leon Draisaitl. Second star tonight with a pair of goals, Jason Robertson for the Dallas Stars. And the first star tonight from the Edmonton Oilers with a goal assist is Connor McDavid. The Rogers postgame show is heard following each of our NHL broadcasts. The Edmonton Oilers were down 2-0 to LA to open the playoffs. They've gone 12-2 since. They win tonight 6-3. They outscore the Stars 19-5 in the final 4 games of the series, and they're on to the Stanley Cup final. Starts Wednesday night. For my play-by-play partners this year, Chuck Michaels, Alan Campbell, Rob Brown, Brendan Escott, Bryn Griffiths, studio producers Kellen Kennedy and Eamon Hashem, and our engineer here in Dallas, Kern Brouillard. Bob Stauffer saying so long for Big D. The Oilers are on to the Stanley Cup final.
The
The Rogers postgame show is heard following each of our NHL broadcasts. Portions of this exclusive broadcast are brought to you by Ford, official partner of the Edmonton Oilers. Built Ford proud. Molson, official beer of the Edmonton Oilers. Whether it's Canadian, Ultra, Export, or Excel, there's a Molson with your name on it. Must be legal drinking age. And Rogers, proud partner and fan of the Edmonton Oilers.
To the net, backhander score!
This live play-by-play broadcast is intended for the private entertainment of our audience. Any rebroadcast without the expressed written consent of the Oilers Entertainment Group is strictly prohibited. All games, all season. Exclusively on the Oilers Radio Network. CHED Edmonton. Inside Sports with new host Brendan Escott. Now on the air 6 to 8 p.m. Get the inside scoop on Edmonton sports. The most fun and supersized to 2 hours. Only on 880 CHED.
A Chorus Entertainment radio station.
The game is over when the horn sounds. The analysis ends when you say it does. This is Oilers Overtime. Oilers Hockey is brought to you by the Butcher Shop at Friesen Brothers. And now, the Heartland Ford Oilers Overtime. Here's Bryn Griffiths and Rob Brown on the official voice of your Edmonton Oilers.
Okay, Scotty. But he was just, and he would test me all the time. And I just give him a firm belief in what I thought was right. And he respected that. So it was interesting to, and then we became friends over the years. It was a real 3 guys that really influenced my career.
That was Iron Mike Keenan, former NHL head coach and author of Iron Mike, My Life Behind the Bench. He was in conversation with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick for the Morning Skate on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio. That's SiriusXM Channel 91.
Hear it all on demand. Your favorite shows, your favorite games. Don't miss a second of your favorite SiriusXM programming on demand with the SiriusXM app. Download it now for free.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Thursday, May the 29th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL playoffs, 8 p.m., Dallas Stars take on the Edmonton Oilers. Stars on Sirius 210, XM 219, and Internet 928. Oilers on Sirius and XM channels 167, Internet 930. National feed on SiriusXM and Internet channels 91. For 24/7 coverage of the NHL season and hockey across the world, keep it locked on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, Channel 91. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Thursday, May the 29th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL playoffs, 8 p.m., Dallas Stars take on the Edmonton Oilers. Stars on Sirius 210, XM 219, and Internet 928. Oilers on Sirius and XM channels 167, Internet 930. National feed on SiriusXM and Internet channels 91. For 24/7 coverage of the NHL season and hockey across the world, keep it locked on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, Channel 91. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Thursday, May the 29th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL playoffs, 8 p.m., Dallas Stars take on the Edmonton Oilers. Stars on Sirius 210, XM 219, and Internet 928. Oilers on Sirius and XM channels 167, Internet 930. National feed on SiriusXM and Internet channels 91. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Thursday, May the 29th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL playoffs, 8 p.m., Dallas Stars take on the Edmonton Oilers. Stars on Sirius 210, XM 219, and Internet 928. Oilers on Sirius and XM channels 167, Internet 930. National feed on SiriusXM and Internet channels 91.
The PGA Tour comes to life on SiriusXM. It's your destination for everything on the tour. Hear live hole-by-hole coverage and expert analysis. PGA Tour Radio, SiriusXM 92.
Former NHL head coach Iron Mike Keenan came on the morning skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick for SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, and he was asked about the long Alexei Kovalev shift during his time in New York, and he shared his side of the story about the skilled offensive talent that was Kovalev.
The Alexei Kovalev shift. I've heard 7 minutes, I've heard 9 minutes. Hey, you stay out there, you kind of figure it out. Describe to us what went into that. How long was a shift? Certainly Kovalev was a talent, that's for sure, but he was a bit of an enigma.
Super talent.
Yes.
And talented people sometimes are elusive. And Alex, I try to explain to him, you're getting 20 minutes, and I don't want the shifts to be 1 minute, so you have 20 shifts. I'm going to give you 40 shifts at 30 seconds so you can build the intensity up. Understand? Yeah, I understand, Mike. Goes out there. Of course, it's a minute and a half. I said, now, Alex, the guy that's supposed to be playing behind you just missed a shift because now we're going to the next rotation. You're out there for 2 rotations. Okay, Michael. So, again, next thing, does it again. So I said, oh, my God. So I said, okay, guys, this time when he comes back to the bench, it's now going to overextend his shift. He's going to be a little tired. Don't open the doors. He comes over and I said, get out. He thinks I love him now. Get back out there, I said. So then he comes over again. And now I said, guys, he's going to want to climb into the bench because he's done. I said, when he comes over, puts his leg up, push him back out. And they pushed him. But now they are laughing on the bench. This is in New York City. Right during the game. Back there. So Alex figures it out. He scores a goal in the middle of this shift.
Wow.
He gets himself a rest. Stays out there. Finishes the period. So I think it's about 9 minutes. I walk off the bench and said, Mess, explain it to him, will you, please? He said, I will. Don't worry. I'll look after it. So as a result, we fast forward now to the playoffs in Game 6, playing New Jersey. In the Jersey series, I double shifted him. When he had to come back, and he was electrifying. Mess got the 3 goals, but Alex was a horse. And it's very talented, powerful. And the problem was he was so efficient that he could stay out, but he didn't grasp the concept of just picking up the intensity. You could see him. He could dangle and hang onto the puck, and nobody could take it from him. He was resting while he was out there. So
in essence, it was a bit of a training ground for what was to come against the Devils at the most important time.
Exactly.
Wow.
So it turned out to be a good lesson for him because that's what he did in that game. 30 seconds, 40 seconds. I just said, Alex, I'm going to double shift you. Get ready. Don't be out too long.
That was former NHL head coach Iron Mike Keenan in conversation with Gord Stellick and Scott Laughlin for the morning skate on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio. That's SiriusXM Channel 91.
SiriusXM has soccer covered end to end. SiriusXM FC. Hear live play-by-play and talk shows hosted by legends of the game. It's SiriusXM FC on Channel 157.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Thursday, May the 29th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL playoffs, 8 p.m., Dallas Stars take on the Edmonton Oilers. Stars on Sirius 210, XM 219, and Internet 928. Oilers on Sirius and XM channels 167, Internet 930. National feed on Sirius XM and Internet channels 91. For 24/7 coverage of the NHL season and hockey across the world, keep it locked on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, Channel 91. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Thursday, May the 29th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL playoffs, 8 p.m., Dallas Stars take on the Edmonton Oilers. Stars on Sirius 210, XM 219, and Internet 928. Oilers on Sirius and XM channels 167, Internet 930. National feed on Sirius XM and Internet channels 91. 91. For 24/7 coverage of the NHL season and hockey across the world, keep it locked on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, Channel 91. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Thursday, May the 29th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL playoffs, 8 p.m., Dallas Stars take on the Edmonton Oilers. Stars on Sirius 210, XM 219, and Internet 928. Oilers on Sirius and XM channels 167, Internet 930. National feed on Sirius XM and Internet channels 91. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM NHL schedule for Thursday, May the 29th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL playoffs, 8 p.m., Dallas Stars take on the Edmonton Oilers. Stars on Sirius 210, XM 219, and Internet 928. Oilers on Sirius and XM channels 167, Internet 930. National feed on Sirius XM and Internet channels 91.
Follow every second of the action on NHL Network Radio. From behind the bench to every play on the ice. If it's hockey, it's on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio. SiriusXM 91.
Former Buffalo Sabres head coach Don Granato was on the morning skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick for SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, Channel 91, to talk about how different today's athletes are, as well as what it's been like to watch Austin Matthews grow.
It's really a switch in the last 10 years. The first birth year I had at the national team program was 95 birth year. So it was JT Compher, Tyler Mott, that group. You have them for 2 years, so the next birth year coming in was the 97s, which was prolific. It was Austin Matthews and Matthew Tkachuk and McAvoy and Hanifin, Werenski. And I remember talking to the coaches back then that this birth year is way different than the 95 birth year. And this summer, ironically, I picked up a book that titled The Anxious Generation. And I thought it was very well documented, and the author used the iPhone. And the iPhone came out in 2008 or 6, somewhere in that range. But social media didn't hit hard on the iPhone where you could rate a kid's looks if you're a high school student. And so judging other people on a social media app on the iPhone was about 2013. And so now you think about all these kids going to high school, and we never had this. They could be made fun of on social media. They don't even know it, and they're walking out of a classroom and people are laughing. Yeah. So it's a different world we all live in because we're all criticized and compared to more and faster. And with that, you need to balance that with support. And I think, lots of coaches that have gone that I watch around the league in the NHL, there's a lot of great coaches and a lot of good young coaches that are really good at that. The X's and O's, I say to people, are easy now. When the X's and O's are a very simple part of hockey. It's connecting with people and getting people motivated and excited. And that's changed dramatically. X's and O's became big when video hit the computer. You could watch 100 or 1,000 forechecks over and over and over and say, okay, these are the key components on a forecheck. And so